Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember where we're at in Psalms?
We're near the end of the book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good enough for me.
That's the story. That is correct.
That is correct, yeah.
Yep.
And there were Psalms before the end of the story that we read.
There were Psalms, and then we did more Psalms, and now we're finishing Psalms.
Yeah.
But there's still a few more to go.
That's true. That is true. So what Psalms are we reading today?
We are reading Psalms 138, 139, and 140.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right, let's jump into Psalm 138.
Okay.
Guess who it's of?
David.
Yes.
I was,
Well, I have more to say about that in a minute.
Okay.
But yes, that is correct.
Sure.
It's of David.
Yep.
I will praise you, O Lord, with all my heart. Before the quote-unquote gods, that's what it says, I will sing your praise. I will bow down toward your holy temple and will praise your name for your love and your faithfulness. For you have exalted above all things your name and your word.
His holy temple, though, I mean, if this was written by David, it technically was just a tent then, which I guess could still be considered a temple, but the temple wasn't actually built until his son Solomon built it. I'm just throwing that out there.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. When I called, you answered me. You made me bold and stout-hearted. May all the kings of the earth praise you, O Lord, when they hear the words of your mouth. May they sing of the ways of the Lord, for the glory of the Lord is great.
I hear a lot of this talk about glory and the words of his mouth and things that God does and says, and yet I know of none of those things. It's always bullshittery vagueness that I hear from people, and in even the Bible, it's like, he's great, he did greatness things.
Love.
Look at all the great that he did.
He's loyal great.
He's so amazing.
Look at the miracles that he did.
Right?
They were miraculous, those miracles.
No actual records of these things, but, just trust us.
Just trust me.
It happened.
It did. Surely, there's a book about it.
Right.
And depending on my argument, you're either meant to take it exactly as fact, or no, it's an allegory. You just didn't know.
Right.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know the depths of the deep.
Right. Because you just couldn't even understand unless you had God in your heart.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which he's, welcome to dive right in there.
Some of us aren't meant to understand, even though we're all part of God's plan, apparently.
I
wish they'd all make up their minds as to which way it all actually went.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Though the Lord is on high, he looks upon the lowly, but the proud he knows from afar. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me.
Yeah.
Just the right one.
Just the right one.
The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not abandon the works of your hands.
Okay.
My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own.
I do know that song, but I don't know.
It's by Jewel.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It came out as a Christmas one for some reason.
Okay.
But it's a good one.
Sure.
So let's do some Psalm 138 notes.
Okay.
Okay, this is Thanksgiving for the Lord's favor. And it starts, I will praise thee with my whole heart.
Okay.
The whole one, not just half. Yeah.
Right.
This is a hymn psalm. It is part of the final Davidic collection of Psalms, comprising Psalms 138 through 145, which are specifically attributed to David in their opening verses.
Okay, but I mean, that's not different than like 100 other fucking Psalms that we read either.
But these are the last of them.
Okay.
Okay.
There was David, but then this is the last of the Davids. And that's it.
Because we have the Psalms of Ascents.
Right.
And then these are the back to David.
Got it.
Hardcore David, like through 145.
Yeah, we don't want to forget about David. Jesus.
David. This psalm was likely written as an expression of thankfulness after the return from exile in Babylon.
Okay.
That's my full notes. That's all I got for you.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, thanks.
Right.
Okay.
Great notes.
Well, I spent time. There just wasn't anything interesting to say.
Okay. All right.
And the internet agrees.
Fair enough.
What you gonna do, you know?
Right. Sometimes psalms are just boring.
Sometimes a psalm is just a psalm. I don't know what to tell you.
It's true.
There's some interestinger notes on this next one.
Interestinger.
Yeah.
That was an interestinger word.
It was, wasn't it?
It really was, yeah.
Psalm 139, a bit interestinger. For the director of music. And what is it?
Of David.
Of David. It is a psalm. This psalm is a psalm. Just to let you know. That's what it says.
Okay.
A psalm. Not a song, a psalm.
Okay, got it.
This psalm is a psalm.
This psalm is a psalm?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It specifically says so.
Right.
Right here in my Bible.
I got it.
Okay. Oh, Lord, you have searched me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You're familiar with all my ways.
Fucking stalker.
On me.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's annoying. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord.
That's boring.
It's scary.
I mean, I don't want anybody to know me that well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary enough when we know what the other person's going to say, you know? Like,
it doesn't comfort me.
Right.
Like, that kind of...
That would creep me out.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
Dude,
like,
get the fuck out of my brain, dude.
Yeah, stay out of my brain hole. You hem me in, behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. No,
you gotta give it to God. Is that what it is? Is that what people say?
Yeah, they do say that, but I don't think it's wonderful. I think it's creeptastic.
Yeah.
I don't feel better knowing that somebody is like all up in my shit.
Yeah.
You know, here's what I like. I like that we have a family tracker thingy so that we know where each other's at, so that like if I crash on the side of the road, you know where to find me.
It doesn't actually work anymore.
The hum thingy?
Well, no, the hum thingy is just for the one car.
Oh, yeah. That's for the kid
right.
car.
Yeah, the other thing doesn't even really
one?
like we haven't we're supposed to like revalidate it on each phone at some point, and we never do that.
So it's off.
It's kind of it's really off.
Oh, well, that's kind of sad.
It barely works at all.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But not like, oh no, the tracker doesn't know where I am. But like that was the only thing that I kind of liked.
Right.
Beyond that, I don't need anybody up my ass.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking the other day about how like, oh, we were watching the second season of Good Omens, and the character that runs the coffee shop, Nina, kept getting all of these texts from her girlfriend. Where are you? You're late and you never put me first and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was thinking about it and how, like, when you are leaving work, you text me to let me know that you're on the way home. And if you're running late, you do tend to let me know, hey, I'm running late. But
not always. If I'm busy, I don't.
Right. Even if you weren't, like, I have never worried or wondered. I'm like, yep, he's with a customer.
Right.
Like, that's just the way that goes. And I can remember one time, you have, like, an auto response. So that, like, if I call you and you're busy, the auto response is, I'll call you back.
Yes.
And you just hit it.
Right.
And it just instantly stops my call from going through and tells me, I will call you back.
Right.
And that's how I know, okay, he's with a customer. Otherwise, he would pick up and tell me.
Right.
So, like, if I get that, it doesn't freak me out at all. Well, apparently your mom called you one time and didn't get that auto response because you were even too busy to hit that.
Right.
And so she heard nothing from you, and within 10 minutes lost her shit and called me asking if she should send the police to look for you. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing I should be feeling.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know that I was it made me doubt my position as your wife, because I've never been freaked out over, oh my God, I haven't heard from him. I just called him 10 minutes ago and didn't get a response. And it just really kind of made me rethink everything for a minute. And then I was like, no, we're fine. Your mom's just funny.
Yeah. But
I think it's because you always send that auto text.
Right.
So that's kind of your own fault.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, you always call before you leave. And so I just never wonder where you're at, but it's not like a thing that I make you do. It's just a thing that you do.
Correct.
So I don't need a God up my ass. That's where that's coming from.
Long walk there.
It was, but I was thinking as I was saying it. It was a long, thoughtful walk.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder where I'm at and be like, where the fuck are you?
No. I pretty much know where you are.
I'm always asleep.
Basically, yeah.
If I'm not answering, it's either because I'm babysitting or sleeping.
Right.
Pretty much. Where can I go from your spirit? Nowhere, because he's spying on you. Where can I flee from your presence?
Apparently nowhere.
If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, there you are. What does that mean? If you die and go to hell?
Well, it sounds like he might be, if he drowns himself or something.
Oh, I was thinking if you go to hell, God is still with you in hell.
No, I don't think God's with you in hell.
No? Yeah. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast.
That right hand. Yep, it's got you.
Always gotcha. In a death grip, it seems.
Right.
This just isn't comforting to me. It feels
weird. It's very stalkerish.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Do you want that?
No.
Who wants that?
But moreover, see, that's the problem, though. It's people envision, they create this comforting entity that they pretend they feel is with them at all times, I think. Or really believe. I mean, I think that people really believe it, but it's their own making. So if you create your own stalker, you're going to like that stalker. It's not going to be a shitty stalker. It's going to be a good stalker. Okay. So they're creating a wonderful stalker.
So all the people that have ever been kidnapped and nobody knows where they are as they're being tortured. Well, at least God knows that they're there being tortured.
Well, I mean, that's one of those memes, how can God let these things happen and, still be a good God type thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's more to it than that, but,
Right.
I don't have the time to come up with all the sentences that I want to say.
No.
So.
If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you.
Okay. Then why did he create light?
I don't know.
Okay.
For the photosynthesis.
But why does he need photosynthesis?
The plants do.
But why? He created them. He could make them not need it.
He wanted to real bad.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. If he doesn't need light and he can do whatever the fuck he wants, why did he even make it in the first place?
I don't know. All right, I want you to listen together real hard to these next two verses.
I'm going to listen real hard.
For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Okay?
Okay.
So keep that in your little brain hole.
I've got it in my brain hole.
Okay. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place.
The secret place? Where's the secret place at?
Where the penis enters the vagina? I don't know. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body.
Is that where you were woven together?
I guess.
Wasn't like a drunken, party or something
one
like
night
that.
fuck fest.
Right,
I don't know.
yeah.
I always thought it was like in the Love Canal.
Yeah.
But what the hell do I know?
Sure.
All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be.
Mm.
How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you.
So wait, they just said that all of his days were written in the book before they even came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that if you take that at its word, at its meaning,
mm-hmm.
that praying to God, doing
Changes
anything
nothing.
For God, doesn't do anything for you.
Changes
You
nothing.
could make any decision, and it was already the decision that God knew you were going to make, apparently.
Yeah.
So it means nothing.
Pray, don't pray,
He
whatever.
created you, let you exist,
mm-hmm.
and then already knew what you were going to do. So
mm-hmm.
when if he then decides to destroy you,
it had nothing to do
it
with
had
if
nothing
you
to do
prayed or
with you.
not.
You were already predestined to do that, apparently.
Yeah. It's the whole free will versus preordained.
Right.
And there's always an answer to whichever one is more convenient.
There's lots of words in the Bible. You can come up with whatever you want to out of this fucking book.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why it's aggravating. It's like, yeah, okay, you've got another fucking answer to how that works by quoting some other section of the Bible. But meanwhile, it all contradicts each other because it said two different things in two different places.
Right. Exactly. If only you would slay the wicked, O God. Away from me, you bloodthirsty men.
Oh, away with you.
Away. Away.
Yeah, those people that God created and already knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Away with you.
Basically, God made them that way.
God created bloodthirsty men.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
They speak of you with ill intent, because they were made that way.
Right.
Your adversaries misuse your name. The adversaries that he made. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord, and abhor those who rise up against you? The ones that you made that way?
Right. It's just, it's so ridiculous.
It just, there's nothing.
Like they talked about
two sentences ago.
Yeah, like it's in the book here.
Two sentences ago.
Right. And then they're just like, and why did all these bad things happen? I don't know, God. Why do they fucking happen? You are the one that knows it's going to happen.
You made me from the very beginning. So he only made the good ones? Did he not make the bad ones too? Yeah. That's not very Goddish of him.
Yeah.
Oof. I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them my enemies. You have enemies that are God's people? Huh. Interesting. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Well, according to you, we ain't got to search very far.
Yeah.
Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So, 139 is very interesting, and we have some good notes here, okay?
Okay.
So, Psalm 139 is God's omnipresence and omniscience.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I kind of gathered that.
He's all present, and he knows all.
Right,
okay?
but that's also, I mean, like, you can contradict the omnipresence and even in Genesis.
Yeah.
He couldn't fucking find Cain or Adam and Eve. They'd be like, where are you guys? I can't find you.
Starts, O Lord, thou hast searched me and know me. This hymn psalm is known for its affirmation of God's omnipresence. Now, according to some Bible enthusiasts, Psalm 139 was written by Adam. Verses 5 and 16, for example, allude to the formation of the first man. So let me just reread verse 5. You hem me in behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me.
Okay.
I don't really know what that means.
Well,
as far as like first man.
Yeah.
Okay. 16 is your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be.
See, that's not how I took it. I took it as like when he was being born.
Yeah.
I didn't take this as an Adam thing.
No, me neither. But
and obviously we're reading this through many different translations and who fucking knows what it actually means.
Right.
But the way it sounded to me in context was that it was about the person being born.
Yes, that's to me in context how it reads also.
And also just obviously, it wasn't fucking written by Adam.
Obviously.
Because that guy didn't exist.
And they didn't have papers and pencils. Anyway, others suggested that the themes of the psalm relate to Adam, while David wrote the actual words. But I don't think it had anything to do with Adam.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, so do I. So verse 16, the one that I just read, is the only place in the Hebrew Bible where the word galmi appears. And that's from the same root word as the term golem, which is a very Jewish fairy tale word.
Right.
Okay. So I was like, I need to touch on that just a minute here, just for a second.
Okay.
A golem is an animated anthropomorphic being in Jewish folklore, which is entirely created from inanimate matter, usually clay or mud.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. I actually knew that. I
did too, but it bore stating. And I added it to my list of I want to know more about golems.
Yeah, no, we should definitely do an episode about that at some point.
I added that to the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Psalm 139, verses 13 through 14, remember the ones that I had you pay close attention to?
Yes.
Okay. Those have been used by both the pro-life and the LGBTQIA movements as a blessing and source of support for their activities. And I was thinking, like, how can that be? So just to reiterate here, 13 and 14, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Okay?
Got it.
So here's why the pro-life movement would use it. The Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention sponsors a project called the Psalm 139 Project, which aims to place ultrasound machines in crisis pregnancy centers as a means of convincing pregnant women not to abort their unborn children.
Yeah, that's a problem, actually.
Yeah, it is.
They actually trick people into going into these places and then try to convince them not to get abortions.
Yeah.
Or actually scare them into not getting abortions.
Well, because they tell them that God was aware of them from the time that it was the egg was first fertilized.
Yeah.
And they cite that. So the reason that the LGBTQIA community uses it is because it says God does know me from my beginnings and I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Right. Meaning that God can't make something wrong.
Yeah. So I'm perfect just the way I am, meaning you're the asshole.
I like God. I like that intention better.
I do too, because it basically says if you're going to use God as the thing, are you calling God's creation here a mistake? Who's
to say that interpretation is any worse or better than any other fucking interpretation that people come up with? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. If you want to interpret it that way, I think you have the full right to do so, because there is no set interpretation of the fucking Bible.
However, there are more than two genders. So when Christians come forth and they say there's only two genders, okay, you're wrong. Just because science has found that is incorrect.
Yeah.
And it's a range, not a binary static that doesn't change. It's a range. And moreover, not only is it a range, but also, furthermore, anybody who claims that the person presenting themselves as they are is a mistake or saying that we are claiming it's a mistake. It's like, no, God is, according to you, your God is awesome. Your God is wonderful. Your God makes great things.
Right.
We're not saying it's a mistake. You are. So you're the one that's questioning God's creation, not us.
Right.
So fucking get over yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So moving on to Psalm 140. It's for the director of music, and it is a
Psalm of David.
It sure as fuck is.
Right.
Yeah. Rescue me, O Lord, from evil men. Protect me from men of violence.
There's a lot of fucking evil men in Psalms. I mean, like, so many.
And they are always trying to get you.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Who devise evil plans in their hearts and stir up war every day. They make their tongues as sharp as a serpent's. The poison of vipers is on their lips. Salah, bitch! Salah.
I always foul down my tongue to make it sharper.
Ew.
Yes.
Oh. That really bothered me. Nuh-uh. I don't like even imagining the way that feels.
Yeah,
like,
I gave you a little bit of a visual too. So
yeah,
it's like,
stop. Oof. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. They're always trying to get me.
Mm-hmm.
Protect me from men of violence who plan to trip my feet.
Yeah, the damn people that trip my feet, assholes.
They always put me in
Fucking
nets and snares.
dicks.
Yeah. Proud men have hidden a snare for me. They have spread out the cords of their net and have set traps for me along my path. Salah, bitch! O Lord, I say to you, you are my God. Hear, O Lord, my cry for mercy. O sovereign Lord, my strong deliverer, who shields my head in the day of battle, do not grant the wicked their desires, O Lord. Do not let their plans succeed, or they will become proud. Salah.
Yeah.
Don't let them be proud, for God's sake.
Right, that would be awful.
Let the heads of those who surround me be covered with the trouble their lips have caused. Let burning coals fall upon them.
Jeez.
May they be thrown into the fire, into miry pits, never to rise.
What is a miry pit?
A pit that has mire.
Right, but what is mire?
It's mired.
It's okay.
A pit that's mired with things.
So you don't know what mire is then?
Well, it's an
something
adjective.
Bad, right?
Miry is a adjective. Like if you say that it's mired with something, that means it's like surrounded or covered in.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's usually a negative adjective.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Like her face is mired in, I don't know, things that it's mired in.
And things that it's mired in. Okay.
It's bad.
No, a mire is actually a stretch of swampy or boggy ground.
Okay.
So, and there is also a situation or state of difficulty, distress, or embarrassment from which it is hard to extricate oneself. Okay. So, it can literally mean swampy or boggy ground.
Okay.
So,
well,
I think that's more what it was.
Don't be in a miry pit.
Yeah.
It's mired with bogginess.
Got it.
And you don't want to be in a bog.
Yeah, don't be in a bog.
Don't get mired down.
Right.
In a bog. Let slanderers not be established in the land. May disaster hunt down men of violence.
Okay.
I know that the Lord secures justice for the poor and upholds the cause of the needy. Surely the righteous will praise your name, and the upright will live before you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Psalm 140 is a prayer for protection against prosecutors and a prayer for deliverance from evil men.
So do you read this before you're a defendant? Like if you're a defendant in a court case, it's a protection against prosecutors, right? They're prosecuting you. And you're like, well, I need to read this real quick. It's a prayer for against prosecutors.
It's persecutors.
Oh, persecutors. I thought you said prosecutors.
I probably did, but it should have been persecutors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people that are persecuting you, not prosecuting. Fuck off. And it starts, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it. That's my whole note.
Jesus Christ.
I spent a half hour trying to find anything interesting to say about it.
But there was nothing.
There was literally not one interesting
But what
thing.
we learned today, though, is that God knows everything that's going to happen. And yet, he creates all these evil men who do all these evil things against his followers. And then they have to ask God, which they also were already going to do, to help them with these evil people and put them in, mire. And
God might listen to you.
Maybe.
But he might not. And he has to read his own book to see what he decided to do ahead of time.
And then sometimes he'll punish the bad people because, apparently that's what was always going to happen. He created them to be punished by him.
Yeah.
Sounds really dumb to me, though.
I'm like, if you're writing that book, you get to write it all rainbows and sunshine.
Right? Can you imagine if you knew your purpose in life? If God was real, right?
Yeah.
And you knew your purpose in life somehow. You're like, oh yeah, I was created so God could destroy me later. That's all. I'm here to be destroyed and be perceived as an evil person.
That reminds me again, Good Omens season 2.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
But that bit where they talked about Job,
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
Yep.
Except that they only had 3 children.
Yeah,
that story.
that's not correct. That was not correct.
Supposed to be 10.
It was 10 children. Yeah, it was bugging us the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was really good though.
Otherwise, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend. You guys should watch both seasons.
Yep. All right, so that was our Psalms for today.
It was.
And that was 138, 139, and 140.
Correct.
And tomorrow we'll be back with...
I'm doing 4 tomorrow.
4?
So, okay, well, they're all short. And I'm like, let's get done with these Davidic bullshittery ones.
I thought they were through the 145th.
Mm-hmm.
That means we're doing 5 tomorrow. Oh, wait, no.
1,
No,
2,
you're
3,
right.
4.
4.
Yeah.
I can't count.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3.
No, 5. Yeah, 5.
Wait, hold on. How does that work?
Hold
on. Oh, it's because they were all on the same page.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they're just all really short, but we're going to do 5 tomorrow?
No, we'll do 3. And then we'll do the last 2.
Okay.
On the other day.
Got it.
Sorry.
Sounds good.
I don't know. I'm either doing...
I think we should do 3 and 2 because then that kind of makes... Because we're planning on taking a week off after this is all said and done.
Yeah.
And... today is only Monday, which means that we've got to stretch this out the rest of the week to the end.
All right.
And then start new next week for a week off.
All right. So then we'll do 141, 2, and 3. And then we'll do 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how we'll do it.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Sorry about my bad math. Yeah.
We'll
sorry.
See you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Husband!
Wife!
Do you have any idea what we're doing today?
Well, we're getting near the end of the Davidic Psalms, so we're in the midst of the last 5 of those, and we're damn near the end of Psalms, so we're just we're trying to get this done.
Finish her up.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. So what Psalms are we going over today?
We are doing Psalms 141, 142, and 143.
All right. And real quick before we get into this, I want to remind everybody again, just so it's not a surprise, next week we're finishing up Psalms this week, and next week we'll be taking a week-long break. There will still be some episodes coming out, so there'll be some special episodes and finalized things, but we will not be doing normal, regular reading the Bible episodes next week.
Correct.
So that's all. But that being said, let's go ahead and get on into this.
Okie dokie. All right, so let's jump into Psalm 141.
Let's do it.
Guess what it is?
It's of David.
It is a Psalm of David.
Yeah.
This psalm is a psalm of David.
These are the last Davidic Psalms, so of course it's of David.
Of course it is. Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
Oh, Lord, I call to you. Come quickly to me. Hear my voice when I call to you. Do you hear me?
No. I hear you.
Right.
I don't hear God.
No.
I never hear God.
Never.
I have never heard, nor do I think I ever will, hear God.
No. I'll be questioning you if that should ever happen.
You should probably start looking for a home for me at that
point. I'll definitely be calling around.
Right, yeah.
May my prayer be set before you like incense. You don't like incense or candles or perfume or anything
I do not.
That has smell stuff
it's
to it.
It's bad for you. You know that it causes it's cancerous. It's not good for you. You love this shit. And I'm like, stop fucking killing me.
I like things that smell good.
It's not good for us.
And they don't smell good to you.
Moreover, I feel like you're poisoning, literally poisoning me.
I know. Every time I spray perfume or something, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I hate it.
I know. And I hate that you hate it. So anyway, may my prayer be set before you like that cancerous incense.
On a side note of smells, though, we did learn one time that apparently farting is good for offsetting Alzheimer's.
Yes, the methane in it.
So, I don't like incense, but if you fart around me, I might call you my friend.
Oh, my God. God.
I mean, technically, if you can fart around someone, I think they probably are your friend. Either that or they're just really rude.
I was going to say, like, there have been people that have farted around me that I don't consider my friend. Not because they farted, but just because they suck.
And I'm just saying. But it is good for you, though. If somebody farts, you should say thank you.
Did I ever tell you about the time
they're saving you?
I went on a date with a guy.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, 100 years ago. And this guy, like, we had steak. And then after we were done eating, I guess it was a bad date from his perspective because he literally leaned over and made no show. I mean, didn't even pretend to hide it or anything.
Yeah.
Just leaned over and prompt.
Wow.
And my reaction, I couldn't even try. I just go, oh my. Like my eyes were open so wide and my face was like, I was astonished.
Yeah. I can see that. That's not something you expect to happen on a first date.
He didn't act embarrassed. He didn't say excuse me or anything. He just kept talking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
I didn't quite know what to make of that other than I guess this date sucked.
I either that or you were just testing the water to see how much you can get away with on a first date,
Well, we did not kiss.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I mean, I'm not saying people can't fart, but like that first date, right? You're supposed to at least make some efforts not to like blatantly be. I don't know. I didn't know if he had owned it, right?
Like, what if he would have said, "I am so sorry. This probably is a date killer or whatever."
I think that would have been different, right?
Yeah. Like if he had been like, I have not been feeling great. This steak is not sitting well. I'm really sorry about this.
Or even turn it into some type of a joke or something. Like anything to like offset the just uncomfortable factor.
Yeah. But he gave zero fucks.
Right.
I was like, he does not like me. That is what I thought immediately. I was like, okay.
Either that or he just really liked to fart.
I guess. It was the lean for me.
Yeah, right.
It was the lean.
The intentionality, the intentional nature of the action.
He was not like, whoops, that one got by me. Or like, lift up and been like, ooh, nothing. He like leaned over. I mean, this was over 20 years ago and that memory stuck in my head. Okay, so anyway, incense. Yeah. May the lifting up of my hands.
Not your ass cheek.
Right, be like the evening sacrifice.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That was very appropriate.
That was very appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We're psalming.
Yeah.
Okay. Set a guard over my mouth, O Lord, and over my nose. Keep watch over the door of my lips and my ass. Let not my heart be drawn to what is evil, to take part in wicked deeds with men who are evildoers. Let me not eat of their delicacies.
Oh my God. You've got the fucking giggles now.
I have ruined this song. Apologies. This song could be really nice and I would just have no idea because I ruined it.
Right.
I'm so sorry. All right, get it together, bitch. Let a righteous man strike me. It is a kindness. Let him rebuke me. It is oil on my head. My head will not refuse it. I don't know what the fuck any of that meant, but please do not strike me.
Right.
I will not take it kindly. Yet my prayer is ever against the deeds of evildoers. I think that smacking me is evil, personally.
Sure.
Their prayers... No, wait, let me start that over again. Their rulers will be thrown down from the cliffs.
Wow. That's rough.
And the wicked will learn that my words were well spoken. So, if I think that you're evil, that means that you are evil, period, the end, it's a fact, and God's going to throw you off a cliff. That's the way it goes.
Right.
That's rather arrogant.
Yeah.
Holy moly. They will say, as one plows and breaks up the earth, so our bones have been scattered at the mouth of the grave. This got ominous.
Right?
Yeah.
No, this is pretty dark imagery here.
It really is. But my eyes are fixed on you, O sovereign Lord. In you I take refuge, refuge, refuge. Do not give me over to death. Keep me from the snares they have laid for me, from the traps set by evildoers. Remember all those traps and snares and nets and things?
Have you noticed that there's a running theme about how scared these people are in Psalms of death?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's the whole religion thing in general, is that religion is basically fear of death.
Right.
But specifically in Psalms, they mention not being taken by death.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
And I'm like, Jesus.
Get
You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just, what is this shit?
Somewhere between lay down and die versus like running from fear and talking about dying all the time. Like there's some in between.
Right.
Where you just try to live your best life and be a good person.
Yeah.
And, hope that you don't die, but know that someday is coming for you.
I just don't feel like at the end of my life that hoping for something more on the other side is going to help me. Like, it still sucks. I'm still dying.
Yeah.
It's still painful or whatever, like the process is no better.
No.
And if there either is or there isn't something on the other side of death, right?
And that doesn't change. It shouldn't change how you act today.
Right. And I'm going with there's probably not, but, ultimately it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's still the same process no matter whether you believe or not, as far as the dying bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let the wicked fall into their own nets while I pass by in safety.
Okay. All right.
Not impressed.
I mean, it's a psalm.
I know. It's just I expected so much more from them.
Did you really?
I was promised poetry.
I mean,
I was promised lots of...
I liked that one about nature. That was all right.
I liked the astrologers one.
So, I mean, and there's,
There have been pretty verses within Psalms.
If I could get past the fact that they say refuge like a million times and...
nets and snares and shit.
Yeah,
and
like,
dashing people's...
If you could combine all the Psalms into like one beautiful poem that encompasses all the same shit that they talk about in all the Psalms, that might have some beautiful poetry in it if you really worked out like a really nice, good version of it.
Okay, so
right?
I've been challenged to write the Psalm of Psalms.
The Psalm of Psalms, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Are you?
I am.
You're going to do... Okay.
I am. I'm going to get started on it tomorrow.
Got it.
The Psalm of Psalms.
The Psalm of Psalms.
This is not the greatest psalm. This is a tribute.
For those who don't know, that is a reference to a band called
Tenacious D.
Yeah, thank you, Tenacious D.
Yeah, Jack Black.
That was a great joke.
It really was.
I mean, I don't normally just say that, but like that was fucking fantastic.
It was, and that's what it's going to be called too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. No, I love it.
I'm starting on it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So Psalm 141 is a prayer for preservation from evil, and it starts, Lord, I cry unto thee. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Here's my full notes. Okay.
It must not be much.
It's not. Verses 6 through 7 are likely corrupt, and scholars call their translation a best guess. So let's read what was verses.
Wait, say that one more time. It was corrupt.
Meaning this is probably not the correct translation. This is just our best guess at what they were saying.
Okay, all right.
Okay. 6 and 7. Their rulers will be thrown down from the cliffs, and the wicked will learn that my words were well spoken. They will say, as one plows and breaks up the earth, so our bones have been scattered at the mouth of the grave.
So their best guess is that God was going to kill people. That's their best guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my full notes.
Got it.
On that one.
Okay. That's a psalm.
That's a psalm.
Yep.
There you go.
And now the next one.
Yep. Okay, so 142. This is a maskil of David.
Okay.
And a maskil is a prayer.
Got it.
Or a contemplation.
Right.
Not a prayer, a contemplation.
Sure.
A meditation, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of David. From when he was in the cave.
Okay. Which time? There was a couple of times, wasn't there? Was this the time that he snuck up and while the guy was peeing, while Saul was peeing?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It just says when he was in the cave.
I'm like, he wrote a lot of Psalms while he was in that fucking cave.
And he was in lots of caves.
I mean, he was in at least a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a prayer.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I cry aloud to the Lord.
That's not good for hiding. You should probably not do that aloud.
So, like, hiding. You're all hiding and stuff, and you just shout, "Oh, Lord!"
Yeah, that might give your location away.
Yeah, don't do it, guys.
Yeah.
I lift up my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him. Before him I tell my trouble. When my spirit grows faint within me, it is you who know my way. In the path where I walk, men have hidden a snare for me. Lots of snares and traps and stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Look to my right and see. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. Womp womp.
That's probably not true. He's got lots of followers.
Mm-hmm. He does.
That he leads.
Yes. He does become king, in fact,
right.
Enthusiastically.
Yeah, and in fact, it's really shitty having to listen to how much people don't care for David when we all fucking know who David is still now, thousands of years later.
Yeah.
Like fuck you, David.
Yeah. Honestly.
You have lots of people that love you, including the chronicler who was in fucking love with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just piss off.
Seriously, though.
Yeah.
I cry to you, O Lord. I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to me cry. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen to my cry.
His cry.
My cry.
Yeah.
For I am in desperate need.
Mm.
Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong for me.
Oh, man.
I mean, you got away, so.
Yeah.
And then you got to be an old man lying in bed naked with
a teenager.
12-year-old
right.
virgin girls.
Preteen, whatever she
so
was.
I don't think that they were too strong for you.
No, you seem to have made, but they're going to say that was God, not his, military prowess.
Well,
and that's I can't understand letting another thing have credit
for my greatness.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck you. I was great.
I was great.
I was fucking amazing.
I can tell you when I was mediocre. I can tell you when I sucked. So I can sure as fuck tell you a time when I was great.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Set me free from my prison that I may praise your name. Then the righteous will gather about me because of your goodness to me. God. Oh. Okay. So.
Did you hear that Pee Wee Herman died today?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you making
No,
a
I'm
joke?
absolutely serious.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Aw. That's kind of weird and sad.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, I don't want to. I mean, he was definitely an icon.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah. I guess he was dealing with cancer for like the last 6 years.
Oh, I don't wish that on anybody. I mean, that's a lie. I wish that on a couple people. But mostly not, because I try to be a good person.
Right.
I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I'm being evil today. This is bad wife.
Yeah.
Okay? Sometimes there are some people that I'm just like, could you just, like Trump. Like, could he just? He's so old. Could he just? Okay, I'll stop. Okay. Oh my God. Psalm 142 notes.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not always a good person. I want to be better. Okay? I'm sorry for the times when I suck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Psalm 142 is a prayer for help in trouble, which apparently wife needs.
Right.
It starts, I cried unto the Lord with my voice. This psalm is labeled as a meditation or contemplation. That's what that maskil
right?
means.
Yeah.
Okay. It's used as a prayer in times of distress. This is not what I say when I'm distressed.
No.
I say, fuck.
Yeah.
Or fuck me. That's what I usually say.
God damn it.
No, I always say, fuck me. Or sometimes, I don't know where I picked this up, but in the last several years, I've caught myself going, piss. Like just.
I always wanted to say good night because my grandpa said it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, good night. Like as a cuss, as a curse.
Yeah.
I really loved that. I want to make that work for me at some point when I'm older.
You need to wear a fedora.
Right? Yeah. And I need, but when I'm older,
have a walking stick.
I imagine that I'm going to say good night as opposed to like, God damn it or whatever. Yeah. Good night. I want to use it. Good night.
Oh, you know what you say?
What?
Shitballs.
I do say that.
I've never heard anybody else say that till I got with you, and it makes me laugh. And sometimes I say it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah. Okay. This psalm is known to have been recited by St. Francis of Assisi on his deathbed.
Okay.
And I was like, I've heard of that St. Francis guy, but who is he again now? And so I thought I would just do a little note on him since I didn't have a lot of notes on these. Okay, so St. Francis was an Italian mystic and Catholic friar who founded the Franciscan monks. He was inspired to lead a life of poverty as a preacher. He's that guy. He's one of the most venerated figures in Christianity and was canonized as a pope as a saint by Pope Gregory the IX on 16 July 1228. That's a long time ago. Yeah. He was designated the patron saint of Italy and is usually depicted in a robe with a rope as a belt. So you've seen that guy.
That's the depiction that you always see
of the Franciscan monk.
Right.
But that image comes from St. Francis.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. He is associated with birds, animals, the environment, poor people, stowaways, and oddly enough, merchants. Yeah. Okay. And then I left room for more notes, but that was it. So I'm glad I took some note on St. Francis, because otherwise you got nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Psalm 143. This is a psalm of
David.
Yes it is. Okay. O Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. Wah, wah. In your faithfulness and righteousness, come to my relief.
Okay.
Do not bring your servant into judgment, for no one living is righteous before you, except for Job, and except for a few other people that he named that were righteous.
Sure, yeah.
The enemy pursues me. He crushes me to the ground.
Damn.
He makes me dwell in darkness like those long dead.
I hate it when my enemy makes me dwell in darkness.
Like if you're buried alive or something?
I don't know how that works.
Have you ever been buried alive?
No, can't say I have.
Have you ever
There was that magician that buried himself for 48 hours or something like that.
What?
I forget what it was.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, some street. It was, I can't remember his name, but it was some street magician. I think it was like David Blaine or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about buried alive magicians.
Got it.
But have you ever gone to the beach and been buried in the sand?
Sure.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Except it's also not fun because it's like you're buried in the sand.
Right.
And if you do it good enough, then you can't lift your hands. And so only your head is sticking out.
Right.
And there's a story actually about this couple or this wife that buried her husband. They were playing on the beach and she buried him in the sand with only his head sticking out. And then she left him there.
Oh, shit.
And high tide took him.
Oh, shit.
And he drowned.
Oh, damn.
And it was an accident, she said.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
She was like, I went to go get water and such. I did not know.
That's, wow.
What a horrible way to die, right?
Yeah.
You see it coming and there's nothing you can do. Probably for hours.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because after the first 20 minutes, that wifey don't come back.
Right.
You start to wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the water starts getting a little closer and closer,
And you're hollering, help!
Right.
And nobody's coming.
Oh, oof. Man.
And then that's when you start kind of trying to unbury yourself
vigorously.
Just a little bit, because you're like, no, surely somebody's coming. She's coming back. She just got held up. Yeah. No, it's about the half-hour mark that you start I don't care if bitch is coming back or not. Right. And then at the 45-minute mark, that's when you're like, oh shit, she's not coming back.
Right.
That's when you start vigorously.
I'm gonna start eating some sand and spitting it away. You know, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that.
I'm surely you could somehow turn your wrists to point up so that your fingers can scrabble. I just don't know. Ooh.
I don't know that I've ever been buried in sand enough to where I couldn't like
Yeah.
escape it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would mean.
I'm just not going to. How about
right,
that?
yeah, no, I'm good.
Also, sand is gross. It gets in all your parts. It's
Right.
just like I have too many crevices for that. It's not good. Let's just not, you know? All right. Buried in the dark, blah blah blah. So my spirit grows faint within me, my heart within me is dismayed. I remember the days of long ago, you know, as the high tide's coming up on you.
Yeah.
I meditate on all your works and consider what your hands have done. Can they get me out of this sand? I spread out my hands to you. My soul thirsts for you like a parched land. Salah.
Salah.
Answer me quickly, O Lord.
No.
My spirit fails. Do not hide your face from me, or I will be like those who go down to the pit.
Don't I've talked about this before, but like the chastising of God, I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, are you just trying to get smote?
Like, do you not know what happened to what's his face?
I just couldn't imagine, like, knowing the things that I've read.
Yeah.
Thinking, what makes you think that you have the right to demand anything from God?
Yeah, like, you dare to talk to God this way?
Right? And if he really is listening to everybody, dude's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
He's not going to like that.
I mean, if you believe all of this and you have all of these stories in the back of your head passed down, right? Mm-hmm. You almost deserve to get smote right then.
I mean, Moses got punished for shit that he just only kind of half did wrong.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
I mean, think of, what was it, Uzzah, that like he tripped and tried to catch the ark.
The ark was tipping over and he tried to stop it from tipping over.
And he got smote so fucking hard.
Right? Yeah.
And how about those people that whined and they were like, but I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And so God was like, smote you.
Right.
Yeah. Eat this, bitch.
Right.
Yeah. And you are just laying there going, God, you better fucking listen.
Right?
I wouldn't dare.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I believed.
If I believed all this, I wouldn't dare.
Right.
Yeah. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Rescue me from my enemies, O Lord, for I hide myself in you. Peekaboo. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on to level ground. For your name's sake, O Lord, preserve my life. In your righteousness, bring me out of trouble. In your unfailing love, silence my enemies. Destroy all my foes, for I am your servant.
Man, these people are so selfish.
Right? Yeah, I don't get it.
Destroy my enemies. Save me. Don't let me die. Like,
kill them hard.
Right. It's just,
throw their bodies against the rocks.
It's the same ask every time.
Yeah. And it's very demanding. It's not even like an ask. Sometimes they're like, I'm not even pretending to ask.
Right.
I demand that you do this for me. All right. Psalm 143 is an earnest prayer or appeal for deliverance and guidance. It starts, Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. This is one of the 7 penitential psalms. So it's one of the ones where they're like, sorry.
Is it? Was it?
That's what it's classified as, but that's not the mood I got.
Right.
It
seemed like every other psalm to me, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
But whatever.
It's believed to have been written during the period of the rebellion of David's son Absalom. But, I mean, honestly, it could have been
how
written.
I am curious how they find, like, where they're getting the idea of how when these things were written, you know?
When I say it's believed to have been written during that time, what I mean to say is that people who believe this stuff and people who believe
that
David...
they've attributed it to that time for some vague reason that they've determined that this is why.
This seems to line up, like this one word here lines up with this time period. So
most likely it's not based on any type of fact or anything. It's just based on conjecture on what they think.
Yeah, that wasn't historians believe it was written during that time. Historians probably don't even believe that David wrote that shit.
Right.
So, no, this is just like Bible scholars, and by Bible scholars, I mean hardcore...
Bible apologists?
Yes.
Yeah.
Christian Bible enthusiasts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was our last psalm for today. Do you have anything else for us right now?
I do actually. I want to apologize for the couple of times that I said trouble and I didn't say right here in River City.
I almost asked in the moment, then I was like, nah, I'm just going to let that slide.
No, it happened twice. And both times I was like, in my brain, I was like, right here in River City.
But it didn't come out.
But you get annoyed, so I held it back and I was like, I'm gonna bring it back around.
Okay.
And it was almost as good.
Yeah. I appreciate that you waited to the end to do that.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
All right. So that's all we got for today. Yep. And tomorrow we will be back with...
We're only going to do 2. We're going to read Psalms 144 and 145.
Okay. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye. Husband.
Wife.
What the fuck are we doing today?
We are doing the last of the Davidic Psalms.
We are.
Which I'm pretty happy about, actually.
Samesies.
I'm like, no more David Psalms after today.
Of David, for David, by David.
Yeah. So I think we only have 2 more to go, and that's what we're getting into today, which would be which ones?
Psalms 144 and 145.
Okay, you ready to do this?
I mean, it's Psalms.
What else are we going to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Am I ready for this? Sure.
Right. Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right. Let's jump into Psalm 144.
Let's do that.
It is of...
David,
yes.
We're almost done with that, but it's still of David.
Yes. Praise be to the Lord, my rock.
Okay. Yeah.
He's my rock.
He's like a pet rock, or...
Who trains my hands for war.
Okay.
And my fingers for battle.
Got it. Okay. So a rock is the trainer for war. And
the Lord is.
The Lord. Who's a rock.
Yes, but you're being...
I know. I'm
bothersome.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay, the reason that I'm stressing those words is because I want that verse to stick in your brain.
Okay.
Because we're going to come back to it.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Gluing it up there.
Praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Important stuff there.
Got it.
He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge.
My God.
Refuge.
That was like a list of all the hot terms.
Yeah. Who subdues peoples under me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get to be in charge and kill people, and he helps me do that. Yay, God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, what is man that you care for him? The son of man that you think of him? Man is like a breath. His days are like a fleeting shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Part your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains so that they smoke. Send forth lightning and scatter the enemies. Shoot your arrows and rout them.
So he wants a storm.
Kill people.
Got it. Right.
Kill people.
With a storm.
Do it. Reach down your hand from on high. Deliver me and rescue me from the mighty waters, from the hands of foreigners whose mouths are full of lies, whose right hands are deceitful.
You notice how they never really talk about them being like violent towards them. Just lies and talking shit, basically.
Those people are always lying and talking shit.
But then they counter the talking shit with, can you kill them, please?
Yeah, I want to dance in their blood, and I want to throw their babies against rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I will sing a new song to you, O God. On the 10-stringed lyre, I will make music to you, to the one who gives victory to kings, who delivers his servant David from the deadly sword. Deliver me and rescue me from the hands of foreigners whose mouths are full of lies, whose right hands are deceitful.
This is like a songish type
like
thing.
Chorus or something.
Right?
Yeah. Then our sons in their youth will be like well-nurtured plants, and our daughters will be like pillars carved to adorn a palace. Our barns will be filled with every kind of provision. Our sheep will increase by thousands, by tens of thousands in our field. Our oxen will draw heavy loads. There will be no breaching of walls. no going into captivity, no cry of distress in our streets.
There is a lot of talk of material wealth given by God in the Bible, at least the Old Testament.
If you do
it's not,
good,
obviously money is not as much of a thing, but like the sheep and
it is
the
money,
crops
in
and
a way.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
prosperity.
They want God to make them prosperous.
Give me my mansion and my yacht.
Right.
And kill those people and throw their babies against rocks.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of talk about, like...
greed.
Well, yeah, and the reason I say this is because when again, being an outsider to religion and Christianity, I think of Jesus, God, like that person of the Bible, as wanting to help the poor and giving up your worldly possessions to do the right things and all this kind of stuff.
A friendly version of minimalism.
But no, like what we hear mostly so far has been, give me wealth, God. I need money. I need things. I need you to make me prosperous.
Yes, I need to be the ruler of all. Yeah. Blessed are the people of whom this is true. Blessed are the people whose God is the Lord.
Okay.
I have to say, this is so unrelated.
Yeah?
It's so nice to be on the last page of Psalms.
Because there's like blank space.
Yeah.
You can see like it's like
I'm like,
the light
we're
of
doing
day.
those and those tomorrow and those and those and those. Yeah. And then there's like, we're on the last page of Psalms.
Yeah.
Okay. Not quite there yet.
No, not yet. But we can see it.
It did make me smile.
Right.
We're almost done with Psalms, y'all. All right. Psalm 144 is a prayer for rescue and prosperity.
Okay.
It's also known to be the David against Goliath thing.
Oh, this is okay.
Just FYI.
So this was something to do with even though David wasn't actually the one that fought Goliath.
Correct.
This is a psalm about that.
David and Goliath.
Apparently David wrote when he didn't slay. I'm not sure I follow all that exactly.
No, me neither. Me neither.
I'm not sure how that works.
Don't forget that Christians will be like, it says it's of David. That means David wrote it. And so that's what we believe. We believe David wrote it. But then don't forget that that's separate from academics and scholars who do actually time these to people who did write it who were not David.
I got it. Yeah.
So
I know. But I also know that scholars say that probably the story about David and Goliath was actually another story.
Yeah.
So when they say that this is attributed to the David and Goliath portion of the Bible, I'm like, but that didn't actually happen.
Right. No.
Not that the other one did. There was never whatever.
The people who are attributing it to David and Goliath are the Bible enthusiasts and apologists.
Sure.
Not the scholars and academics who are interested in historically determining who wrote what.
Got it. Okay.
So when I say that it's related to the David and Goliath story, I mean it's
that's
related.
What people would say.
Yes.
If you ask them that
Correct.
are religious.
Yes.
Okay.
Like when people like my parents are reading the Bible, they would read this psalm while they're reading the David and Goliath stories.
Got it. Okay.
It starts, "Blessed be the Lord, my strength." You'll notice that's a little bit different from what we read, which was "Blessed" or "Praise be to the Lord, my rock."
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm pointing that out is because there's the version that we're reading, version is the NIV.
Yeah.
Which says rock. Okay. Sure. The King James version says strength. And then the original Latin says something else. And I didn't write that down because who cares? But there's just all these different interpretations. It might say, I believe it said something like the Lord my God instead of strength or rock.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say where it goes on to, which is, the whole my hands and my fingers war and weaponry and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get into that in a second.
Okay.
So with the development of the ideal of the knighthood in the 12th century, so the 1100s.
Yeah.
Verse 1, "Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight."
Yeah.
That came to be seen as a fitting prayer for the Christian warrior. We're coming back to that in a second.
Okay.
And so references to that are found inscribed on a number of high medieval swords.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this was like a Crusades type thing.
Yes.
Got it.
That's why I was like, make sure you pay attention to those lines. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in 2015, a gun shop in, of course, Florida. If it wasn't Texas, of course it was Florida,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
Produced an AR-15 named the Crusader. So it's interesting that you said the Crusades.
Yeah.
Engraved with Psalm 144, verse 1, ostensibly so that it could never be used by Muslim terrorists because, of course, Muslims cannot spell out the name of God. So, it says, God is my rock or my stone or whatever.
Right.
And he trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle.
Sure.
So I'm going to include in the show notes, I'll send you a few different links.
Okay.
But the gun shop who made this, they were taking requests of what else could be on that lower section of the stock.
Yeah.
And people were like asking all kinds of requests, and they were not good, but they were all like kill, get them.
Sure.
And,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, all kinds of different quotes, and only about 60% of them were from the Bible, but they were all war-hungry ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty gross.
If Jason Aldean, I don't care how you pronounce his name, it doesn't really matter. He'd say, you can't try that in my small town. That's probably what he'd put after that.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
Something
equally
equally
grotesque.
Ugly and bullshitty.
Yeah. Just for those who may not be aware, Jason Aldean is a country music singer, which you could stop right there as far as I would say. But he created a song that is currently making the rounds of rage because the video in particular depicts lots of racism, and it tries to promote the idea that the Black Lives Matter movement is a terrorist organization,
right?
And it only shows it shows riots that make it look like it's the left being problematic and that the right needs to shut that down.
Sure.
With guns with phrases like this on their stocks.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah. There's also the fact that it was recorded at a place where lynching occurred, and just there's all kinds of background in the making of, in the lyrics, in the video. It's just not a good thing altogether.
Right. It was shitty.
It was shitty all the way around.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, when interviewed, he's blinking his eyes going, "What? I never said anything racist in it. What?
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're racist for saying I'm racist." It's the same people that would be like, "I never said the N-word, therefore I'm not racist. I have many black friends. Just ask my black friend."
Yeah. So that, just because we're talking about songs, and this is completely off subject, but I do want to, because I mentioned it on Twitter, and I might have mentioned this yesterday. I can't remember if I did or not. But right now, the top Christian album is by a transgender, by a drag queen. I'm sorry, named Flamey Adams, and there's a song with her and Derek. I can't remember his last name now, but anyway, it's like something like "Sometimes Boys Will Be Girls" or something like that.
Yes.
And it's really, okay, I am not a Christian music fan, but like the song is so powerful and amazing.
It's not a country song.
Oh God, no.
It's not a country song in
really,
either sound or message.
I imagine that most Christians are like, "That's not a Christian. Fuck you. I don't agree with that."
So I don't understand how that's on
Christian station. I know. I'm so blown away by it. And I actually posted it on our Twitter feed the other day because it's such an amazingly great message, I think, for what I would, if I were to support a Christian group, it would have to look and act somewhat similar to like this type of song that I heard,
message.
That message.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see that and they, both of them, Flamey Adams and the Derek, I can't remember his last name. I'm so sorry. I'll put it in the notes. But they both reached out to me and thanked me for sharing it. And
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
No, it was, I highly suggest at least checking out that song because it was a really powerful video and song, and
Yeah.
like it's actually, I approve.
Yeah.
Of that song.
Yeah, it's a great message.
I haven't said that about a Christian song maybe ever.
See, now when you sent it to me and I watched the video and I listened to the song, I got zero understanding that it was by a Christian group, and it did not sound country in any way whatsoever.
Right.
So you telling me that it's by a Christian group, I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't track.
Well, yeah, I mean, Flamey Adams is a Christian drag queen that sings. So I mean, that's basically what it boils down to.
So I learned a thing, and that's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
So good.
So anyway,
stuff there.
I wouldn't ever probably again even maybe suggest checking out Christian music, but maybe check that one out. That's all.
I think you should. It's a good song.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
So
it's a super good song, and I promise you it's not country.
Right, yeah.
That matters to me. It might not matter to everybody, but it matters to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't do country.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off about Christian music there, but I just did.
Well, it usually sucks.
Right.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to that gun with that message about, I like to shoot people.
Yes,
so I put the Bible on my gun.
Right.
And that gives me permission to be gleefully murderous.
Sure.
The Council on American Islamic Relations responded with disapproval, which,
sure,
as well they should.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I looked this up, because I was like, wait, what? There's some news story about it. So
yeah,
it's well worth taking the time to read that as well.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, now we are moving on to Psalm 145.
Okay. The
All
last Davidic psalm.
It is a psalm of praise.
Okay.
And it is also of
David.
Yeah,
like it just
David.
Yeah,
yes,
David.
The last one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Right.
There ain't a lot left, so even if it wasn't the last one.
Yeah, it's still near the end of the Psalms anyway.
This is so cool. Okay. I will exalt you, my God the King. I will praise your name forever and ever. Every day I will praise you and extol your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. His greatness no one can fathom. One generation will commend your works to another. They will tell of your mighty acts. They will speak of the glorious splendor of your majesty. And I will meditate on your wonderful works. This is so boring.
Yeah, this is really,
sorry.
Yay.
Sorry, but it's dull.
Right. I mean, we're talking about his acts, not in a glorious way.
Right.
So I guess partly it's true. We are talking about his acts.
Sure.
But.
Yep. They will tell of the power of your awesome works, and I will proclaim your great deeds. They will celebrate your abundant goodness and joyfully sing of your righteousness. La la la. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger.
Bullshit.
And rich in love. We've had this conversation.
He doesn't even like the fucking Israelites. He said as much. He's like, you guys are alright, I guess, if I gotta pick somebody.
Yeah. He's
whatever.
Like, these bitches.
Right?
The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made.
Except for those that they kill because they don't agree with him.
Apparently he didn't make them?
Those I don't think you can call that compassion.
No, I wouldn't. That's not what the word compassion means.
Not in my book, anyway.
Not in the Merriam-Webster dictionary either. Right, so, yeah. All you have made will praise you, O Lord. Your saints will extol you. They will tell of the glory of your kingdom and speak of your might, so that all men may know of your mighty acts and the glorious splendor of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures through all generations.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. The Lord is faithful to all his promises and loving toward all he has made.
No, that's not true.
It's not true.
It's literally just a small group of people that he fucking kind of is loving to sometimes when he feels like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm going to say that either he didn't make everybody or this is a out and out lie.
Well, and but the not making everybody is kind of one of those things like, where did all those people in the land of Nod come from?
Right.
Where did they come from? What the fuck was that? Did he make them? Were they just there? Were they like a
Well, remember how gods were like just little local deities?
Right.
It's almost like I made these guys, but I didn't make those guys.
Right, except for that sometimes they want you to be like,
He made everything.
He made everything. But no, he's actually a local god that still didn't exist, but still a local god.
He got blown out of
maybe
proportion.
kind of sort of created something, and then they're like, oh, wait, but there's other people over there. Of course there's other people. Why wouldn't there be other people?
Right.
We're just, here, man.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
The Lord upholds all those who fall and lifts up all who are bowed down, except for Uz. Fuck Uz.
Well, Job too.
And Job. Fuck Job. And Moses doesn't get to see the land.
Because he hit the rock wrong.
Yeah, fuck
I hate
him.
It. Whenever I hit a rock wrong, I'm like, God damn it. I'm probably fucked.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
You don't get to enter the promised land. The Lord does not uphold all those who fall. He's like, you fell. Get your own soul. Pull yourself up by them bootstraps, because that's how that works. The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food at the proper time. You open your hand and satisfy the desires of every living thing. The desires of every living thing.
That's a lot that he's doing with his hand there.
Mm-hmm. He's doing something. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and loving toward all he has made. Can this be done now? The Lord is near to all who call on him, in truth.
In truth, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He fulfills... So Fox News is right out.
Right, yeah.
He fulfills the desires of those who fear him. He hears their cry and saves them. The Lord watches over all who love him, but all the wicked he will destroy.
Yes.
That's not love, then.
You've got to love and fear him in equal proportion, and then he will maybe do right by you. Apparently.
And if you're wicked, he will destroy you because when you love something, you destroy it if they do bad. Right.
It's almost, I feel like they equate the word love and fear as almost the same fucking thing in the Bible.
Yeah. And respect.
It's thrown in there as they've got to be like equal in measure when you're worshiping God.
They're synonymous.
Right?
Like the way you should love and fear and respect your parent. And if your parent doesn't like you, then they get to what? Squash you and throw you down a well?
I've never liked that. Like, okay, I'm all for respecting people of all walks of life, but age and position do not make a respectable person.
Right.
You have to earn that shit.
Yeah.
And for me, that's part of what a god should be willing to do too, is earn your fucking respect.
Yeah.
And if you're a god or a parent or anybody and you're not willing to earn my respect, well then fuck you.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. My mouth will speak in praise of the Lord. Let every creature praise his holy name forever and ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was Psalm 145.
No more David. Woo-hoo! Yeah.
So Psalm 145 is praise for the Lord's goodness, and power.
Yeah.
It starts, I will extol thee, my God, O King. And this, as we said multiple times now, is the last psalm in the final Davidic collection of psalms, comprising numbers 138 to 145, which are specifically attributed to David in their opening verses. Okay?
Yeah.
This is also the last of the 9 acrostic psalms. It's an alphabetical acrostic.
Okay. Which I think all of them have been.
No, not all of them.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought, okay, all right.
No, there were only a few that were.
Sure.
Not all of them are.
Okay.
The initial letter of each verse in this was began with the Hebrew alphabet in sequence.
Right.
Okay. The Dead Sea Scrolls version also ends each verse with the recurring refrain, Blessed be Yahweh, or YHVH.
Right.
And blessed be his name forever and ever. And adds at the end of the psalm the tag, This is for a memorial.
Oh, so it's apparently for a memorial, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that's okay. Yeah.
Do you like my solid hard pause? Like, yep, that's it.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm memorialize that. Done.
All right, so that was the last Davidic Psalm, which we read 144 and 145 today.
Correct.
I was right. Oh, hell
this
yeah.
time.
All right, so that wraps it up for today. And then I think we've got 2 more days left of Psalms. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow, what are we getting into?
Tomorrow we'll be reading 146 and 147.
Okay.
And then the day after that, we'll read 148, 149, and 150.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Husband.
Wife.
We're getting ready to finish up Psalms.
Not today, though, right?
No, we're just getting so close. I can feel it.
It's just like 2 more episodes, including today.
Yeah.
Right?
Today and tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're at the end of Psalms, which, what are we covering today?
We are doing 146 and 147.
Okay, sounds great. You ready to go ahead and get into this?
I am.
Let's do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, Psalm 146.
Okay.
Praise the Lord.
No.
Do it.
Still, no.
Praise the Lord, O my soul. I will praise the Lord all my life. I will sing praise to my God as long as I live.
Sounds really fucking boring.
Praise. Praise.
I'd rather do lots of other things than praise God.
Laundry?
Yes.
Wow. Do not put your trust in princes.
Okay.
Don't do it.
I won't.
Immortal men who cannot save. Don't do it.
Well, but like, if you don't trust people at some level, people that you trust, how do you make it through life? You got to trust some people.
They can't save your immortal soul.
They can do it better than any God I've ever met, which is exactly 0. So,
when the spirit departs, they return to the ground. People. On that very day, their plans come to nothing.
That's true.
Yep, we die.
Yep, you don't get to take your toys with you.
You do not. Blessed is he whose help is the God of Jacob, whose hope is in the Lord his God, the maker of heaven and earth, the sea and everything in them, the Lord who remains faithful forever.
Okay.
He upholds the cause of the oppressed and gives food to the hungry.
And the people that want lots of money and riches and stuff.
Yeah, yachts.
Right.
Yeah. The Lord sets prisoners free. The Lord gives sight to the blind.
Oh,
Does
wow.
he? The Lord lifts up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. My mom is deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
And she prays a lot.
But I was talking about this today on Twitter. I know I'm always talking on Twitter, but I don't feel like, and I'm going to include your parents in this too. I don't feel like Christians today are Christians. I don't feel like that their religion is based on faith so much as hate.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like, even if there was a God, that some of these right-wing, nasty churches that are out there would lead anybody to salvation or
I don't think they're
whatever.
interested in leading people to salvation, honestly.
It's such bullshit. Like, it's more political and nationalistic than it is anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some God thrown in there for good measure, but ultimately it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Back to
you're
the
right.
Bible where,
Yeah. Let's read the Bible.
Yeah.
The Lord watches over the alien and sustains the fatherless and the widow.
There are aliens, apparently.
There are aliens. So
apparently God watches over them.
That is like way outside his geography.
I mean, but if he created everything, it's not. It's just that he spends a lot of time there in Israel, apparently.
It's just that we know that gods back then were very, geographically associated.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, an alien not of the planet Earth, that is so far beyond this little god's realm.
Right.
Get over it.
I don't think that's the type of alien they were talking about.
No, no, it's not. But those aliens, too, are outside his geographic realm.
True.
So, whatever. But he frustrates the way of the wicked. Okay.
Yeah.
The Lord reigns forever. Your God, O Zion, for all generations. Praise the Lord.
I bet people said that about Zeus too, and look where he's at.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
He kind of got put out of a job.
He got laughed out. Clapped out.
Something like that.
When they do the singing on those singing shows and one got to go, he lasted like to the last round, but then
do you think he was good at the electric slide?
Zeus? Hell yeah.
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 Do you think he like really got into it?
I think
like it's electric.
I think that he was one of the best dancers out there.
But like the electric slide though, like that's right up his alley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I think that Hera, his, bride,
yeah,
I think she kicked ass at the Macarena.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that they both were like the top swing dancer, and I think that they did a smooth tango.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that he did ballroom dancing with somebody else, and they were really good, and Hera did not like it, but she could not deny how good they were.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
That's my opinion.
That's your take? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I got all that. I just felt like it. Okay, so Psalm 146 is praise for the Lord's righteous acts.
Okay.
And it starts, praise ye the Lord, O my soul. Psalm 146 is the first of 5 final concluding praise psalms in the book of Psalms.
So these are all praise songs here at the end?
Psalms, not songas.
Right.
Yes, they are.
Got it.
They are praise psalms. And like others in this group, they begin and end in Hebrew with the word hallelujah or praise God.
Got it.
Or ours says praise the Lord.
Right. But they praise him somehow.
Yeah. Now in the Septuagint, which is the
Greek translation.
Original Greek translation.
Yeah.
Psalms 145 to 148 are given the title of Haggai and Zechariah.
Okay.
So that would be 146 to 149. Because, they're numbered differently.
Sure.
So, anyway, these are not of David. They're
right.
hypothetically of Haggai and Zechariah.
Got it.
Okay. And that's all my notes for 146.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Now, Psalm 147.
Yes.
Okay. And I have some interesting-ish notes about this one when I get done.
Okay. Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Or hallelujah.
Sure, whatever.
Praise God. Whatever.
Fuck cares.
Yeah. How good it is to sing praises to our God. How pleasant and fitting to praise him. The Lord builds up Jerusalem. He gathers the exiles of Israel. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds.
Again, they had to get there somehow in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
he didn't always do that.
Right. He determines the number of the stars.
Okay.
There's a book called Number the Stars by Lois Lowry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that book, so.
It's about, I don't know the story itself. I haven't read it, but it's about, I believe, a child sometime during a Jewish diaspora. So, something like that.
Got it.
That's all.
Isn't it diaspora?
Is it? Did I say that wrong word?
Yeah.
It's one of those that I've only ever heard said out loud maybe once, but I've always read it and I always didn't know. So, it's like recite. Don't you mean recipe? Yes, I do. Yes, that is exactly what I mean. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
sorry
okay.
about that.
I had to it had to roll around in my head for a minute before I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, sorry. Remember that one time when we did a live event a few days ago and we were like, why is wife so bad at pronouncing things? You can just add this to that.
Well, wife spent lots of years reading things.
Quietly.
Yeah,
so...
So you know all the words. You just don't necessarily know how to pronounce them.
Right.
So...
I wouldn't say I know all the words.
You know a lot of words.
I know some words, and I don't know how to pronounce a lot of them. Because I'm an introvert. So, oopsies.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So how is it again?
Diaspora?
Diaspora, not diaspora. Diaspora. Tylenol. Mascara.
Yeah.
Mascara.
Right.
Okay. Great is our Lord and mighty in power. His understanding has no limit. The Lord sustains the humble, but casts the wicked to the ground. Cast them.
Yeah.
Cast them to the ground.
Yep.
I love casting things to the ground and throwing babies against rocks.
I mean, sometimes it is fun to cast things to the ground.
People?
No.
So
generally,
then no.
generally not. But
No.
things.
Things.
I like throwing things into the ground sometimes. Also, I like throwing rocks into the water. Like if you skip the rocks, that's fun.
Yeah. One time, do you remember the story about the coffee pot?
The one that you broke against our fence?
Yep, that one.
I remember that one.
Well, do you want to tell the story? Or do you want me to tell the story?
You tell the story.
Okay, so here's the thing. I had always said I do not want to get a coffee maker.
Oh, she did not want to get a coffee maker.
Because I don't know how to use them properly. I'm scared of counting the wrong number of scoops into them. But more than anything, I do not want to clean it out.
Yeah.
And so I said, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But you said, I promise, if we get one, I'll always clean it. And you never cleaned it, not ever. And so one day when we were in an argument about something, I was so angry that I picked up that thing and I walked outside. It was the carafe, not the whole machine, to be clear.
Yeah.
And I threw that carafe against the wooden fence.
Mm-hmm.
And it was marvelous.
It was something.
It flew every which way, and it made me so fucking happy.
This was in your less medicated days.
It was. I was a wild woman.
You were something.
Yeah.
You were something.
It's one of those things that I'm supposed to regret, like, oh, that's embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. But it's not. It's one of the things that I look back on and I'm like, but I said I didn't want a coffee pot.
But guess what we have again?
Now I have it stored somewhere and you don't use it.
Right, but we have it, and it's better.
It is better.
It has a metal mesh carafe.
No, you're using the wrong word.
I'm using the wrong. Oh,
the carafe is that's the
basket. It has a basket,
part.
metal mesh basket for the coffee.
Reusable is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
I knew. See, you know all the words. I just know how to say them.
Yeah, it's
sort
true.
of, sometimes, maybe.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, not always though.
Usually not either.
No.
If we're being honest.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, we do have that, and we have used it, and it
has not ended up against a fence yet.
No.
So
no.
Thus far, it's out of the woods.
That's because if we make coffee with it, I'm the one that makes it, and I clean it then, and you don't make coffee because you fucking know better.
Right.
Because if you had to make it, you wouldn't clean it out, and I would get mad, and you would get yelled at.
So, yeah.
And you've learned not to do stupid shit.
You leave your leftover coffee things in
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so we have a Keurig machine, and we also have a grinder. And so what I do is take the... Oh, my God. No, not the app. We have an actual coffee grinder. And so I take the beans, and I grind them, and then I store them in a mason jar, and then I use those grounds to refill my little itty bitty reusable Keurig cups.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, and I don't always empty them right away because they're mine, because you and Kid don't like them and don't use them. I am only causing myself a mess. And I clean up after myself when they're all used. I then wash them, rinse them, and then set them aside to reuse. So every, I think I have 4 or 5 of them. So every 4 or 5 days, I will rinse them out and reuse them.
I'm just giving you shit.
I know you are. And I'm like, that's not right. That is not a thing to give me shit over because I leave those out, but it's my own mess that I'm in charge of cleaning up.
I know, but it worked out well because you got a good story out of it. So.
Oh my God. You're annoying. You can't use you make a mess too as something that's but that would indicate that you have to clean up after me. And you don't. You haven't. You don't. You never have.
I have to take it out of the Keurig and set it on the counter.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's a hardship. That's a pain. That's annoying.
It's a rough life, you know. I
Get
live
the
a rough
fuck out
life.
of here.
Yeah.
I can't with you. You're annoying me. Okay, sing to the Lord with thanksgiving. Okay?
Yeah.
Just do it.
No.
Make music to our God on the harp. I want a harp. Can I have a harp?
No.
He covers the sky with clouds. He supplies the earth with rain and makes grass grow on the hills. He provides food for the cattle and for the young ravens when they call. His pleasure is not in the strength of the horse, nor is delight in the legs of a man.
What?
That's not where he gets his joy.
That seems really odd things to say.
The strength of the horse or the legs of the man.
But it's just why? Why is that something that you would...
How strong and fast they are or something? The Lord delights in those who fear him.
Oh.
Like how strong or fast you are. So
he doesn't give a fuck how strong you are or fast you are.
Yeah, as long as you fear him.
You gotta fear him.
Yeah. Remember yesterday we were talking about how fear and love seem to be synonymous in this Bible? Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like he's saying don't be too strong because then you might think you can
don't need me.
Right.
And just remember your place. You need to be fearing me, strong man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Lord delights in those who fear him and put their hope in his unfailing love. Extol the Lord, O Jerusalem. Praise your God, O Zion, for he strengthens the bars of your gates and blesses your people within you. He grants peace to your borders and satisfies you with the finest of wheat. Does he, though?
Finest of wheat, huh?
He sends his command to the earth. His word runs swiftly. He spreads the snow like wool and scatters the frost like ashes. I like that imagery.
Yeah.
Spreads the snow like wool and scatters the frost like ashes.
You know, winter is not real conducive to living well.
No.
So you would think that he wouldn't want to do that to people that he liked, Right. He'd make it just like same temperature all year long so they could grow crops all they wanted and wouldn't have to suffer and things for like once a season every year.
Yeah.
It's just odd to me that a God would do that to people.
He's like, winter on you, bitches. He hurls down his hail like pebbles. Who can withstand his icy blast?
Oh,
Zeus.
I live in a house. I can.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. He sends his word and melts them. He stirs up his breezes and the waters flow.
Okay.
He has revealed his word to Jacob, his laws and decrees to Israel. He has done this for no other nation. They do not know his laws. Praise the Lord. Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't. He only revealed it to this one group of people, and then he kills the rest of them. Yep. Yay!
He's like, fuck those people that I didn't introduce myself to.
Yeah, I don't care if they don't know or not. Doesn't matter.
That's rude.
It is rude.
All right, Psalm 147 is praise for the Lord's favor to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
It starts, praise ye the Lord, for it is good to sing praises.
Yeah.
Okay, so Psalms 146 and 147, the two that I just finished reading, are seen by some as twin psalms because they both draw on images from Isaiah 61, which we haven't read yet.
Okay.
But just so you know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say a little bit about the next psalm because... Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So Psalm 148 is all creation exhorted to praise the Lord. It starts, praise ye the Lord from the heavens. And it's one of the laudate psalms. Laudate.
I would say laudate.
Laudate?
I don't know.
Okay. So however you say that, the laudate psalms, they are psalms numbered 148, 149, and 150. So this should be with the next group. Okay?
Okay. But
because it is kind of twinned with the other one is why I'm like including it a little bit in this one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a both C's.
Got it.
Okay?
Bridges that gap.
It does. Yeah. It could have gone in either group. But I think it goes better in the next group, so I'm not reading it till tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay? So 148, 149, and 150 are traditionally sung all together as one psalm during the canonical hours, most particularly the hour of lauds, which is why they are called the laudates or the laudates or whatever.
Okay.
And the lauds are morning prayer, and that's where it gets its name from.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so there.
So there. That's that.
That is that. And tomorrow we will read 148, 149, and 150.
And then that'll truly be that's that.
And that will be all of that as far as Psalms is concerned.
And that will be done.
And I will be so ecstatic. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're taking some time off. Don't forget,
right.
We'll have episodes of things and stuff still.
Yeah.
But
on Sunday, we'll have our book club, and you'll have our weekly wrap-up replay.
Right.
And then on Monday, we'll have our Psalms wrap-up or whatever. And then on Tuesday, we'll have Contradictions.
So there are still episodes next week.
Right.
And then we've got some special episode. We got a special episode coming up with OK Atheists that we're doing a replay of one of their episodes to kind of introduce them to you guys.
Mm-hmm. I think that's on Wednesday.
That'll probably be on Wednesday. And then we're going to at least do one replay, and we might even release like an old Patreon episode.
I think I think that's what we had decided to do, is release a Patreon episode.
Yeah. So, I mean, we still have some episodes we are doing, but they're not regular episodes, and we're giving ourselves the majority of the week off without having to do episodes. So.
Right.
But that being said, for tonight, we are done.
There's only one more night of Psalms.
That's right. So we will see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
So we're in Psalms.
Yes, we are.
We're finishing Psalms.
Yes, we are.
And we're late today.
Yes, we are.
That is pretty much my fault, so I'll take this one.
Wait, how's it your fault?
Well, let me tell the story.
Okay.
And then you can apologize for your bit.
Okay, sure.
Mostly it is my fault.
All right.
Okay, here's what happened. So we're finishing up Psalms. There's 3 Psalms left, and then we're done, which is very exciting. But the last one had so much to say about it that I kept going down rabbit holes. And so I kept not being finished. And so then while I was trying to finish up,
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
Yes, I did.
Yes. And there was
when I fall asleep,
there was no coming back.
It's over. It's done.
Yeah. And so it is my fault because I kept going down so many rabbit holes.
My head's like a it's a Weeble. Is that Weeble's Wobble, right?
But they don't fall down.
Well, I mean, it doesn't fall down. It's still attached.
Yeah.
It just leans over a lot and springs back occasionally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that is definitely you.
Yeah.
So apologies that this is coming out tonight instead of this morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're doing it though.
And
we're doing it on the correct day still.
And it is still on the correct day. And I think that there's some interesting stuff that will be said that you'll be like, okay, I forgive you, wife.
All right. Speaking of interesting stuff, I want to do a shout out here for someone who was already a patron and then wasn't, but then they came back. And so Dion, thank you.
Thank you, Dion.
Subscribed at the $25 level.
Oh my God.
And I was like, whoa, because I was I was actually worried. I thought we maybe pissed them off when they left, but then they came back with a vengeance.
Oh my God.
And they're like, I'm back, bitches.
Apologies, Dion, if that's not wording that you would have said that we put in your mouth.
But no, wow, amazing.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Very cool.
I was very happy to see that we get to see you again in Patreon. And also I saw that you were on Twitter and Instagram and all over the place. So I was like, whoa, hi.
Yay.
And so,
Dion's back.
Hi, Dion.
Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing. Thank you so much. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get into Psalms. Oh, I forgot to say.
What?
If you want to be an amazing, awesome person like Dion, you can go to our Patreon site, which is patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse.
It is.
And you can become a supporting member for as little as $2 a month. And every little bit does help us very much.
You just can't even know how much it helps. Thank
really.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And that being said, What are we getting into today?
Well, like I said, we're finishing up the book of Psalms. Yay!
Yay!
We are reading Psalms 148, 149, and 150.
Awesome. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right. So Psalm 148.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm as ready as I'll get.
I'm so excited we're finishing up.
I am very excited we're finishing up.
Praise the Lord!
No, still.
Praise the Lord from the heavens. Praise him in the heights above. Praise him, all his angels. Praise him, all his heavenly hosts. Praise him, sun and moon. Praise him, all you shining stars. Shine on. Yeah, you crazy diamond. And you waters above the skies. That was Pink Floyd. Shine on, crazy diamond.
Right. Yeah.
Let them praise the name of the Lord, for he commanded, and they were created.
Okay,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
He set them in place forever and ever.
Oh, man. But I thought he's doing that whole rapture thing.
Also, stars
so that's
died.
not like forever and ever. That's just like a few thousand
died.
years or something. Yeah.
So
I mean, at some point, the universe actually is going to end.
Right. So, like, a long time.
Yeah, a really long time, maybe.
Almost forever.
Possibly.
Forever insofar as the human mind can imagine, but not forever in actuality.
If you ask a Christian today that believes in, like, the what is it?
The rapture.
The rapture, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're like, it could happen tomorrow.
Right.
We could all end tomorrow.
Yeah.
We need to be prepared.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I also am not.
If I just, what?
What if you believe that, like, you just packed a bag and sat on the bus stop and waited?
But I just don't get what it is. Like, it's like this love. It's like they're so excited about the end of the world. And I don't understand that excitement. I really don't get it. Like, I know they think they're going to a better place and that other people that believe with them are going to a better place and all this wonderful shit. But, like, how can you loathe your life so much that you're like, yeah, anything but this, fuck, let me get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Like, I don't understand it.
The earth is too beautiful to be that sad. And I don't even like a lot of things about the human population. But the earth is too beautiful to leave behind like that.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, sorry, I was going off there about the rapture.
He gave a decree that will never pass away, except that it will. Praise the Lord from the earth, you great sea creatures and all ocean depths.
Wonder what praising sea creatures looks like.
Alligators.
They put their fins together.
Oh, great whales and sharks.
No, I'm saying, like, he's telling them to praise.
What
does a fish that praises God look like?
It's breathing.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it.
Lightning and hail, snow and clouds, stormy winds that do his bidding. You, mountains and all hills, fruit trees and all cedars, wild animals and all cattle, small creatures and flying birds, kings of the earth and all nations, you princes and all rulers on earth, young men and maidens, old men and children. Let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone is exalted. His splendor is above the earth and the heavens.
So they were giving a lot of, like, abilities to inanimate objects and animals that are not human.
Yes.
In that psalm. It was very interesting because
it was very Old Testament.
They're like telling all the mountains to praise God and the animals to praise God. And I'm like, what? This is odd.
It feels very like Mesopotamian, like pre-Roman, like way back when we thought that, fire was a magic instead of
right.
Like it just feels very
old.
Like ancient old, not just Old Testament old.
Right.
It feels pre-Bible-y.
Something like that. Yeah, it's just really odd. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So Psalm 148 is all creature, all something.
Yeah.
All creation exhorted to praise the Lord.
Okay.
Okay. And it starts, praise ye the Lord from the heavens.
Yeah.
In the Septuagint, which is the early Greek translation, Psalms 145 to 148 are given the title of Haggai and Zechariah, which is why I almost included this one in the last reading, yesterday's. But it didn't instead because it's one of the Laudate Psalms, which I did look up how to pronounce that. And it's either Laudate, which is like Italian or Latin, or it's Laudate.
Okay.
And I can't remember.
So it's either or, so they don't even have a consensus on the pronunciation.
Well, it depends on what language you're speaking.
Got it.
And so one of those is Italian and one of those is Latin, and I can't remember which, but either way, I'm not wrong. Ha 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 ha. So the Laudate Psalms, which I've decided to pronounce it Laudate. Okay.
Yep.
Because the other way sounds too much like la da dee, la da da. You know, Laudati.
Right.
So the Laudate Psalms are the Psalms numbered 148, 149, and 150.
Okay.
Traditionally all sung together as one psalm, and that's why I included it today.
Sure.
In the canonical hours, most particularly the hour of lauds, laudate.
Morning, is that right?
Which is also called morning prayer.
Right.
And that's where it derives its name from these psalms.
Got it.
So let me just step back a second and talk about something that I haven't really mentioned before.
Okay.
In researching all of these psalms, I've come across a section called uses. And there are some faiths, and Catholicism is one of them, where they have a schedule of reading these psalms so that they are hit every month, or they read certain sections of the Bible every day so that the Bible is read throughout the year.
Got it.
Okay. And they're on a schedule. So you can look up, what things are we reading on this day?
Sure.
Okay. And so there are different times of the day when specific things are read, and you can look up what time is this particular psalm read every day.
I see.
Okay. So that's where the whole laudate comes from.
Got it.
That's what I'm referring to. Is this is one that is read during the early morning prayers, and then there are like mid morning. There are super like before the sun comes up morning. Like there are all these different, and each of these different times has a specific name.
Got it.
And I haven't mentioned it because it only has to do with particular faiths like Catholicism, which isn't really what we're doing right now.
Right.
And I'm only
we're just reading the Bible.
Yeah, we're just reading the Bible. I'm only mentioning it now because these are the Laudate Psalms.
Sure.
And I wanted to explain a little bit, just the teensiest bit of why they are called that.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And why also the word laud comes from that.
Got it. Okay.
So these are the morning prayers. They sing these every morning, all three together.
Got it.
Old Testament scholars have also classified this particular one as a creation psalm and a wisdom psalm. And I didn't even have to look those up because those are self-explanatory.
Right.
Church buildings have been decorated with the creatures mentioned in Psalm 148 for ages now.
Okay.
And so when you see a church building and it's got critters on it, that's what it's referring to. Okay.
Yep.
It won't necessarily say Psalm 148 on it. And
right.
It won't say these creatures are from the fucking Bible. It'll just have creatures and you just know. Like, oh.
Okay.
That's why there's creatures. That's why there's birds. That's why there's fruit trees and fucking cattle and stuff. Like, okay?
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to read Psalm 149.
All right.
Praise the Lord. Sing to the Lord a new song, his praise in the assembly of the saints. Let Israel rejoice in their maker. Let the people of Zion be glad in their king. Let them praise his name with dancing and make music to him with his tambourine and harp.
I wonder how that works when, there's like certain Christian groups that don't believe in dancing and singing and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like how do they view words like that when it's specifically in the Bible to celebrate God? Where do they get the thing where they're not supposed to dance and sing? I don't understand
because there's other places where God says be silent.
So like you can make the Bible be whatever you want it to say. You can make it say whatever you want.
There's a thing that's called cherry picking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I have. I have.
And they do it.
Yeah. Okay.
This is an act which anybody who claims anything defends their point of view.
Right.
Because of the Bible.
Yeah.
They have cherry picked that item.
Okay.
Atheists included.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like anytime we're like, it even says it in the Bible. Anybody,
right.
Whether they are Christian or Catholic or Jewish or atheist or anything, you have cherry picked that fact to support your base.
That is true. Okay? Yes.
Now, there's a different reason why you might have cherry picked. You might, for example, be trying to say it's in the Bible, which makes it perfect, or you might be trying to say it's in the Bible, therefore your argument is null and void because this proves the opposite of what you're saying.
Right.
Which is you're saying XYZ came from the Bible, therefore it's a fact, but yet ABC purely contradicts that and is also in the Bible.
Sure.
So I'm not trying to say that people on the side of atheism or agnosticism or whatever, when they cherry pick, I'm not trying to say that it is bad that they are doing so, merely that we all cherry pick.
Right. No, I gotcha.
Sorry, I got off track there a little bit.
You're fine.
Okay, for the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with salvation. Let the saints rejoice in his honor and sing for joy on their beds.
Okay.
For joy on their beds. Sing. Sometimes I jump up and down on my bed
That's
and I
joyful.
sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I always think of the opening scene from the movie Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
When she thinks she's going out on a date. Her name is Chris, and she's getting ready for her date with her boyfriend, and she's so excited, and she's singing, and then he kissed me, and she's like jumping around on her bed singing.
Right.
It's the best scene ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. May the praise of God be in their mouths and a double-edged sword in their hands to inflict vengeance on the nations and punishment on the peoples, to bind their king with fetters, their nobles with shackles of iron, to carry out the sentence written against them. This is the glory of all his saints. Praise the Lord.
Yeah,
okay?
There's more of that killing shit.
Whee!
Yay!
Murder's good. Says it in the Bible. So Psalm 149 is Israel exhorted to praise the Lord. Starts, sing a new song unto the Lord. Mm-hmm. And Psalm 149 is marked by its martial tone in that it calls on the people to be ready to fight.
Yeah.
Go, gadget, fighting fists.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they got the praise was supposed to be in your mouth and the sword in your hand and not the other way around, because that would be really bad if they got that wrong.
Right.
I'm glad the interpretation correctly. But then it still involves violence against other people, so might have saved a lot of trouble if it did get interpreted the other way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You're not wrong. Verse 2 is recited by the creeping creatures in Parak Shara. Like, wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
So first let's read verse 2. Let Israel rejoice in their maker. Let the people of Zion be glad in their king. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's verse 2.
Yeah.
Now, what the fuck is Parak Shara?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm sitting here thinking exactly that.
This is one of the fucking rabbit holes I went down.
Yeah, okay. What the fuck is that?
Okay. It literally translates to chapter of song, and it is an ancient Jewish text. Okay. There are a number of different versions. So finding any one particular one that like describe or that sums up like this is what it is not simple. Okay. The text itself was first printed in 1576, but it was mentioned as early as the 10th century.
Okay.
So the year 900 and something is when we first see mention of it. Okay. It contains 85 sections, in each of which elements of creation, beginning with the celestial and ending with dogs, use biblical and rabbinic verses in order to sing God's praises. So remember in the previous one when we saw animals and mountains and shit.
So like someone literally wrote how to do that or something?
No, someone literally wrote these animals and creatures and things giving praise to the Lord.
Oh my, we have to read that at some point.
Yes, that is where I went down a rabbit hole because I was like, what is this?
Right.
Yeah, it's an ancient Jewish text, and it talks about this stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Okay? I
right.
literally did a copy paste and added that to my list of we're covering this.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So they use biblical and rabbinic verses in order to sing God's praises.
Okay.
Though Parak Shirah means chapter of song, the book is actually organized into 6 different chapters.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The song begins with the heavens, who say, "The heavens speak of the glory of God, and of his handiwork the skies tell." And that is from Psalms 19, verse 2.
Okay.
And then the book ends with the dogs, who say, "Come, let us prostrate and bend our knee and kneel before God our Maker." And that's from Psalms 95, verse 6.
Okay.
Okay. So it goes through and it says, the clouds say this, the mountains say this, the dogs say this. Okay.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the verses of Parak Shirah are biblical. Okay. So they're all pulled from the Bible.
Sure.
And most of these are from the book of Psalms.
Got it.
There are also a few verses from the Babylonian Talmud.
Okay.
And there's at least one from Kabbalistic literature.
Oh.
So Kabbalah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There are a very, very few whose sources are unknown.
Got it.
So we're talking like 2 or 3 that we're like, we have no fucking idea.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Some of the birds and animals listed are difficult to identify.
Okay.
A couple that they named are something that we think is elephants, but elephants weren't available at that point when they were writing about it.
Okay.
Most of the creatures named are found in the Holy Land. Elephants was not one of them at that time. They came later. They came in the 1500s.
Okay.
Is according to the notes that I read.
Well, I wonder if they had exposure to them through like other, like warring things that they were doing and stuff like that. So.
The 1500s is when that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they were introduced to elephants.
Got it.
Somebody brought elephants over during one of their crusades or war things and were like, we're riding fucking elephants. Bend your knee and we're going to kill you anyway because I'm on an elephant, bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I would be.
Right.
So I started in this part. This is only one of my rabbit holes, okay?
Yeah.
I started to write down all of the things that give blessing, like... whatever. And then I remember, wait, there's fucking 85 of these.
Right.
Okay?
That's a lot.
So I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously. But
Sure.
I am going to say a few. These are some of the things that the heavens say give blessing.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The heavens is the first one. The earth, the Garden of Eden. Gehinnom, which is, yes, related to Gehenna.
Right.
It's the land of the afterlife, the dead.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
The wilderness, the fields, the waters, the seas, the rivers, the well springs, the day, the night, the sun, the moon, the stars, the thick clouds, the light clouds, the wind, the lightning bolts, the dew, the rains, and on and on and on.
Got it.
That's where I stopped.
Right.
I was
like, enough.
Yeah. Like, I think we get the idea.
Right.
But yes, this, what did I say it's called? Parak Shirah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parak Shirah. Okay. I'm so down with this. We need to get a copy of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Okay. So now we're going to read Psalm 150, which is where another of my rabbit holes came in. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you could see why I was like, oh, I'm reading all of this.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So Psalm 150, praise the Lord.
No. Hold on. I have to say it emphatically. Fuck no. Because we're on the last psalm. This is my last opportunity to say.
Okay, let me start over.
Yeah.
Psalm 150. Praise the Lord.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely fucking not. Not a fucking chance in hell. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay.
Sorry, that was it. I'm done now.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure
You want to say it one more time?
No. I'm
okay.
good.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
You're done.
I'm absolutely done.
Okay.
No, fuck no.
Praise God in his sanctuary. Praise him in his mighty heavens.
Now it's just taunting me.
I know. Praise him for his surpassing greatness. Praise him with the sounding of the trumpet.
I don't have any trumpets.
Praise him with the harp and lyre.
Nor do I have those. I know you want to get a harp, but
I really do.
I don't think I want to get one.
Praise him with the tambourine and dancing. We have
a tambourine and we can dance.
And I even know where the tambourine is.
But you know what I'm still not going to do?
What?
Praise him.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Also, I'm not going to go dig out that tambourine.
No.
I know where it is, though. I got it out because I was babysitting.
Right.
Yeah. Praise him with the clash of cymbals. Praise him with resounding cymbals.
Wait, what?
Cymbals.
Those are different. Okay, all right.
Yeah, like the clash of
they
cymbals.
They got two mentions,
versus,
though.
I know, right?
Clashing and resounding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like one is just noise, the other is music.
Right.
I guess
that's something like that.
The way I define
two different ways to hit them, maybe. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. And then just one more time, just to make sure you got it, it says, "Oh hey, praise the Lord."
Okay. Yeah. No.
Okay.
No praising here.
So that let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Mm-hmm. That's like so important because that gets into the fish that you asked about.
Right. Yeah, they don't have well, technically they do take oxygen in through their gills. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess they kind of have breath.
I guess. I don't really know how it works though. So, I mean, if we want to talk like that, then fucking the plants have breath. Right. So whatever.
I know.
Okay. So this is the last time I get to say Psalm 150 notes.
Are you sad about that?
I'm sad I don't get to keep saying Psalm, but that's the only thing I'm sad about. Like, fuck Psalms. I'm sorry. I'm so ready to be done with them.
Right.
They were not the beauty I was promised.
No, they were not.
No. So Psalm 150 is a call to praise God with musical instruments.
Yeah.
It starts, "Praise ye the Lord." This final psalm parallels the first psalm in that they have the same number of verses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Symmetry is important.
Yes. Okay, ready? Here's where I went down my second rabbit hole, and I could have stayed here all fucking night. And I kind of did. I spent an hour, and then I went back and was like, I gotta cut this down.
Right.
So we're gonna do another episode about this at some point.
Was that after or before my head started nodding off?
You were already starting to fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, he's done.
I was just curious.
So now I can just read for pleasure. Yeah, at that point, I was like, okay, we're obviously not doing this tonight.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm just being curious, and this is all just selfish for me.
Sure.
Okay. So according to the Kabbalah, which remember that's Jewish mysticism.
Right.
Okay. The 10 expressions of praise in this psalm correspond to the 10 Sephirot, which are divine emanations. Okay. I was like, okay, let's take a step back a second. Tell me about Kabbalah again now.
Which is like magical Judaism, basically.
It's mystical Judaism.
Right.
It's an esoteric method, discipline, and school of thought in Jewish mysticism.
Sure.
Okay. So I was like, okay, now I get Kabbalah kind of. So wait, hold on. But what is the 10 Sephirot? So remember, there were 10 expressions of praise.
Yes.
Okay. So those are supposed to correspond to the 10 Sephirot. Okay. And those are divine emanations.
Okay.
So they are the 10 attributes through which Ein Sof, which is the infinite, another word for God.
Okay.
Reveals itself and continuously...
Wait. Let's back up just 1 second.
Okay.
What did you just say? Ein Soft? And what?
Ein Sof.
What is that?
It's another word for the infinite or God.
Okay.
EINSOF.
So we now have another word for God.
In Jewish Kabbalism.
Okay.
All
right.
This gets into some real new age hooey shit.
Got it.
Not gonna lie, when I first saw the chart of the 10,
yeah,
it looked like the same thing as, I forget what they're called, but you sit in the lotus pose and you've seen charts of it where there's a dot on your head, your throat, chakras.
Okay.
You've heard of those, right?
I have heard of those, yes.
Okay. This very much aligns with that.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know if
they're
correlated or related. I don't know if one influenced the other, or it just so happened that these two things separately developed where there's a chart that
is similar.
Almost are exactly the same.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
But when I saw this chart, I was like, those look like chakras.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And mind you, I don't know shit about the chakras.
Nor do I.
I
have heard the word, and I know that it's New Agey.
It's New Agey.
That's about all I know.
And this, like I said, this lines up with that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Sephiroth are the 10 attributes or emanations of the infinite. Okay. Which it's another way of saying God or the universe. Like, it's less like man God and more like the universe.
Got it.
How we're all interconnected.
It's more spiritual.
Spiritual, right. Like New Age, like I said.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is the way, these 10 attributes, it's the way the infinite reveals itself and continuously creates both the physical realm and the chain of higher metaphysical realms.
This sounds really fucking...
New Age, right?
Yeah.
It's totally like Kabbalah. You can see why people are like, oh, I do Kabbalah. Right? Like, you can see that girl. She believes in crystals, and she's like, I do crystals and I burn incense, but I'm not Wiccan. That is not a religion. That is a practice. Mm-hmm. It's an art. Like, if you talk to somebody, they will tell you all the differences and why you're wrong to have used the wrong word.
Sure.
And let me tell you something. You will always use the wrong word because every single person who believes in like New Age stuff and spiritualism and stuff, they all have their own vocabulary.
Got it.
So you will always use the wrong word. And they all talk like this and they're all very calm. Okay?
Got it.
And they go, when you talk to them. And you're like telling them like, oh, my husband left me and, took the dog and he drove away in the pickup truck. And you're like crying and sobbing and they're patting you. They have a hand on your shoulder and they're going, Okay. So that's the person I'm describing that would today be involved in this.
Okay.
Along probably with like Madonna or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So the Sephiroth, again, those are the 10 thingamabobbers. Okay.
The 10 thingamabobbers. That's official terminology there?
I mean, it's as good as saying attributes of the universe or fuck ever, right?
Sure, yeah.
So the 10 thingamabobbers are described as channels of divine creative life force or conscientiousness through which the unknowable divine essence is revealed to mankind.
Okay.
Is that not a bunch of hooey nonsense?
It sounds like hooey nonsense to me.
Okay, are you ready to learn what these 10 are?
Let's do it.
That the 10 praises from this psalm relate to these 10 attributes of the universe divine.
Okay. Let's find out. Yeah.
Okay. Number 1 is Keter or Keter, and it means crown, which that is directly related to the chakras because theirs is also the crown.
Okay.
And you can even imagine where it is,
and these,
right?
These are hypothetically related to this psalm that we just read?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The crown.
All right. Okay? Yeah.
That is the divine superconscious will that is beyond conscious intellect. Keter is also sublime. It is the most hidden of all hidden things and is completely incomprehensible to man.
That sounds like what a lot of people describe God as. Mm-hmm. Like, well, you just can't know because he's not for us to know.
Others might refer to it as your third eye.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like your third eye is shut.
Right.
Third eye blind, if you will.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
I just made myself laugh. Okay, number 2 is chakma, and that means wisdom.
Okay.
And there's a whole thing about like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I cut all that.
Blah blah wisdom, blah blah blah.
Right. We all know what wisdom means.
Sure.
We didn't need the extra. Remember, I was like, oh, I'm writing all this down. And then I was like, shit, I got to cut this back.
Right.
Okay. And I was like, we know what wisdom means.
Okay.
Number 3 is Bina or Bina, and that's understanding.
Okay.
So you can know a thing, but you might not understand it.
Sure.
So that's why they're separate.
That's also something that people tell me about the way we're reading the Bible all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, well, you just can't understand it the way it's meant to be understood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck you mean? I'm reading it. I'm reading the goddamn word for word.
It's malicious compliance, though, is what we're engaging in.
No, you're right. To an extent, yes, you are correct. And I will grant that we do not play the game of the Bible, right? We're not sitting here going, oh, this relates to that and that relates to this.
Oh, this is beautiful.
No, I'm taking it as it comes at me, right? And the things that pop in my head are what I react to because it's what makes the most sense to me as far as what I've read thus far in the Bible. I'm not searching for a greater meaning.
Right. That I was going to say. But having said that, it's not like we are open so much. Like, when we first started this, we were like, hope this is better than, what I expected will be dry and boring. And we were like, maybe even there will be some nice bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we hoped that maybe some of the spiritual aspect of it might occasionally be like, okay, that was nice. What a nice Goddard book. Right?
But it's just like it proves us. So like every chapter that we read has something in it that's like God's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I know I say it all through the Bible, but
Mm-hmm.
like, so how do you get past the God's a dick bit and move on to, yeah, but let's find the beauty in this text, because I can't get past the part where he's killing people all the time and say, I want to find the beauty in this. No, he's a fucking dick. He's killing people. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And I can't get past that. So I'm reading it as it is coming at me, and I'm saying, that's stupid.
And
that's
we're
dumb.
definitely, I will admit, we are definitely no longer open to whatever beauty might come from it. I might say that was a nice passage.
You know what? I plan on revamping my openness a little when we get to the New Testament, because it's a separate book. It's a separate...
Sure. We'll do a reset and be like, okay, let's...
All right, I'll give this a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a chance.
Not as big a chance as the Old Testament got, though, because like by the time we get to the New Testament, knowing what the history of that God is, that's going to be a really hard sell.
You're going to have a hard time convincing me that he's reformed himself miraculously with this death and resurrection bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And mm-hmm. I'm not going to buy it. There's no way.
Speaking of God as a dick, number 4, chesed means loving kindness and charity, which God isn't.
Right.
But we're supposed to believe that he is, though.
Well, they throw that in there occasionally. They're like, treat the poor well.
But that's God telling man to do that. We've not seen examples of God's loving kindness, even though they keep telling us, praise God and his loving kindness.
Yeah.
I've never seen his loving kindness.
Yeah, they don't do a good job of like making that abundantly clear.
Right.
So.
Right. And his charity. Let me talk about charity for a minute.
Mostly his charity is letting us live.
Right. That's not charity.
Right.
Charity means giving something to somebody else that can help them.
Right. And not like with, like when he gave the birds to the people in Israel.
Right.
That was
malicious compliance at its finest. Yeah. That was sarcastic bullshittery, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, charity too, it depends on not the amount that you're giving, but how much it means to you that you're giving it. For example, both of our parents gave us a gift of money. Mm-hmm. And one has a lot of money and only gave $100 to us. This was for like, no, he gave $500 to us or something like that.
Sure.
And it was like for a birthday or Christmas or some shit like that.
Right.
The other one did not have a lot of money and gave $100.
Yeah.
And that $100, knowing how much it impacted them and how it set them back, like we were hesitant even to accept it.
Right.
Because we knew that they couldn't afford that charity.
Right.
That was charity.
Yeah.
The other money, while we were grateful for it, we knew that it didn't hurt that person. Sure. It didn't even make them blink.
Right.
And so, yes, we were grateful and it was cool and it was nice and it was good. I have a really hard time giving the same amount of gratitude to both of those gifts.
Sure.
One meant more.
Yeah.
To the person giving it.
Completely agree.
And so when God, quote unquote, allows me to give, that's nothing. Allows me to live is what I meant to say.
Right. I was confused for a second.
When God allows me to live, that doesn't mean anything. He could give me $1 million and it's like, thanks, whatever.
Right.
Like, I appreciate it,
You've got the ability to fix all ills in the world.
Yeah.
And yet you want us to praise you for occasionally being lenient. And fuck you.
It's like saying about my ex, well, he didn't give you black eyes. Why did you divorce him? And it's like, God let you live. you should totally thank him.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I respect myself a little more, and my bar is a bit fucking higher than that.
Well, and his reasoning is like, well, I gave you life. It's like when a mom or somebody's like, I gave birth to
brought you into this world, and
like,
I could take you out.
That doesn't mean you have, endless supplies of forgiveness for that. You have to still be a decent human being.
Right.
And treat your child well.
Yeah.
So
and God does not seem to do that.
Right.
So
right.
I'm sorry, his gifts, they don't have weight with me.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off, but that word charity and talking about God, I'm
triggered you, huh?
Yeah, it did. It triggered me. So anyway, God, or chesed means loving kindness and charity.
Okay.
And that God doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, gevura means strength, which also is related to judgment and limitation and awe.
So really they're talking about his right hand here, huh?
Mm-hmm. Number 6, tiferet means beauty, glory, adornment, spirituality, balance, integration, miracles, and compassion.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big bowl.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's a big bowl of stuff.
Right.
Number 7, netzach means... You shut up and try to pronounce these things. Means eminence, everlastingness, perpetuity, eternity, victory, and endurance. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Number 8, Hod means majesty, splendor, glory, submission, humbling.
Okay.
Number 9, Yesod means foundation.
Okay.
Like earth kind of thing. Okay?
Sure.
Number 10, Malkuth means kingdom, the physical world, earth. Okay?
Yeah.
So you got it?
I will never remember all those, so.
Somehow the 10 praises relate to the fact that there's 10 of them. And there's 10 attributes.
Yeah.
Those are cool. Those are related.
Got it. Okay? I would love to talk to somebody that knows more about this at some point.
Kabbalah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. We need to find a Kabbalist expert. Like they're... That's got to be a rabbit hole we dig into at some point.
It's got to be somebody who's like totally knowledgeable but not all in.
Well, yeah, no,
obviously. Because I
want a scholar person talking to me about Kabbalah, or what is it?
Kabbalah. Or Kabbalism.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I want a scholar to talk to me about it and tell me what the fuck? What is all this,
Tell me.
I want to know more.
It's like the original. It's the OG New Age.
Yeah.
So, okay, but we're not done. Okay?
Oh, we're not done.
We're not done.
Now, this was a short psalm to have this much shit.
Because it's the last one, so it's got the most weight.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, additionally, the word Hallel, which let us not forget means praise, can be found 13 times in this psalm, correlating to the 13 attributes of mercy, which we covered at one point, but... We'll go over what those 13 are.
You said originally, because we didn't read halal in there at all.
No, because we're not, the word was praise instead of halal.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, because we're not reading Greek or Hebrew.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's confusing because sometimes in the Psalms that we have read, that you do use the word halal.
As a title.
Oh.
Or a definition or a descriptor.
Got
halal.
It. Yes. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Fair enough.
But this was saying praise this, praise that.
Got it.
And so they didn't say Hallel this and Hallel that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So the word Hallel, which means praise, can be found 13 times in this, and that correlates to the 13 attributes of mercy.
Okay.
We have covered those, but we're going to cover them again. Okay. And the 13 attributes of mercy are the divine attributes with which God governs the world.
Okay.
13 attributes of mercy. Ready?
Sure, I'm ready.
Number 1, compassion before a person sins. Number 2, compassion after a person has sinned. Number 3, compassion to give all creatures according to their need. Socialism. Number 4, mercy that humankind may not be distressed. No, you laughed.
Well, I think being flooded to death would be distressing.
Yeah. I'm so stressed out. Canada's on fire.
Being like rained down with fire from the sky would be distressing.
Yeah.
Getting swallowed up by an earthquake would be distressing.
Pretty fucking distressing.
He seems like he's done something. Being bombarded by birds when you're just starving to death.
He's not merciful.
Would be distressing.
They keep telling us he's merciful, and I'm like, but he's not, though.
Having an invisible angel stand in front of you who's going to murder you would be distressing.
The murder angel.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that he does that's very distressing.
Yeah.
And
that's because he's not merciful.
Right, yeah.
So it says he rules with mercy that humankind may not be distressed, but he doesn't rule with mercy, so humankind is, in fact, distressed.
Yeah.
Number 5, gracious if humankind is already in distress. He's gracious.
Bullshit! You have to come back and grovel before him before he'll fucking turn around and help you. You gotta be like, oh God, please give me. I will submit everything to you. I give up all my. I need help. Fucking hell.
But here's the thing: if you ruled with mercy so that humankind would not be distressed, then you wouldn't have to be gracious because humankind wouldn't already be in distress.
Moreover, you're supposed to be omniscient and all that shit where you know what's gonna you already know what's gonna happen according to your people that say that you know what's gonna happen.
Right.
And I'm like, if you already know what's gonna happen, what does any of this matter?
None of it
doesn't. None of this fucking matters if that's the case. And if it's not the case, if you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, then you're not as godly as you want.
Your followers seem to want.
You're not godly at all. There is no fucking God.
Right.
But if there were a God, I'm just gonna go on the hypothetical. If there is a God, if you don't know what's gonna happen, you're not that good at your job.
Right.
You're slacking, man.
Number 6, slow to anger.
Fucking hell.
I knew that one would get to.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Number 7, plentiful in kindness. Number 8, truthful. He's not, though.
I mean, well, I'm trying to think of a time specifically.
He sent angels out to lie on his behalf.
Well, but can you specifically say that God has said anything untruthful? I can't think of a specific instance. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't exist, but
I think that is more maybe fact than spirit of the law.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
But whatever.
Okay.
I mean, look, he's already fucked up a lot of these on this list, so I'm trying to give him something.
Okay. All right. Number 9, keeping kindness unto thousands.
But just thousands?
Unto thousands.
Right, but why thousands? There's billions of people in the fucking world.
Because when they were doing this, there was only thousands.
I just wanted to clarify.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Okay, number 10, forgiving iniquity.
Okay.
Meaning badness, when you do bad things.
Got it.
When you're a perv, forgiving it. Okay?
Well, if you ask people today, apparently he's really good at forgiving that because they forgive all kinds of people, all kinds of shit. Mm-hmm. For doing things bad.
Only if you're Christian.
Right. But, it depends on which God you're talking about. Sometimes he would just fucking kill people for doing the slightest thing wrong.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he's like, you can, enslave an entire village and rape some of the kids and whatever, and it's all good, you know?
Whatever.
But if you light that incense the wrong way, I will murder you.
Right. Because smiting is fun.
I don't quite understand where his thresholds lie, but I don't agree with them in any way whatsoever.
I've said it before. He's quite pernicious and has a mercurial temperament.
Yeah.
He's persnickety. Number 11, forgiving transgression.
Okay.
Number 12, forgiving sin. And number 13, pardoning.
Got it. I like how the last 3 were all like...
the same.
Yeah. And they act
actually, it's last 4.
It's like they're trying to...
forgive, pardon.
Right, but they're trying to drill it into our head that he's a forgiving and pardoning God or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no.
Just no.
No, just no.
Right.
I mean, I've read this book so far, and I have not seen anything that would let me call him, them, it, whatever, a forgiving God.
Exactly.
I don't agree.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree with your disagreement.
Do you agree with the fact that we are done?
No, I have one more thing.
I'm sorry.
One more small thing.
I thought you
saw the blank space that comes at the end of my notes.
Yeah, so I
but I had one last little sentence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will forgive you.
Thank you for forgiving me. I forgive you.
Oh, yeah.
For being such an asshole that you would say such a thing.
I know, right? Yeah. Thank you. See how forgiving we are?
We're so forgiving. Okay, so the directive Hallelu,
Hallelu,
which is hallelujah.
Oh, okay.
Like Hallel is praise, hallelujah.
Ah. Okay.
They're related.
Yeah.
Is seen 12 times, which corresponds to the 12 new moons that occur in a Hebrew calendar year.
Pagan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
I didn't write down which verse it was because who gives a shit? There's one that they will say that verse twice to make it 13 in leap years. Because there's an extra moon,
Oh my God.
There was so much more, but I was like, I gotta stop.
Oh.
I gotta stop.
Jeez.
And I thought that funny leap year moon thing, like we bend the rules,
right,
we make it match, we cut the puzzle shape to make it fit.
God can't be wrong. Just copy that one over again. Just say it again. Say it again. Okay.
Our kid is putting together a jigsaw puzzle. And
yeah.
It's like over 1,000. No, it is 1,000 pieces.
Uh-huh.
And it's just it's a picture of a bunch of different doors. It's
yeah.
really cool. But I was telling them that I recently watched some like old British movie. Who cares? That's beside the point. But in the movie, there's a lady putting together a jigsaw puzzle and she's trying to make this piece fit where it won't fit. And she literally takes scissors to the piece and cuts off the extra little bobble.
Yeah.
And then sticks it down and pounds it into place and says, there, that's nice now. So that story has now served twice to make me laugh because it made kids laugh. And it fits exactly what that was that I just read to you.
Yeah, they're making the puzzle piece fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So
now I'm done.
Now you're done?
Now
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. So that's all we got for today. We're done with Psalms insofar as the regular readings.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be back on Sunday with the
Sacrilegious Book Club.
And then Monday and Tuesday we'll be doing our episodes that will be
the wrap-ups
and contradictions. We will have
Don't forget your weekly replay on Sunday night.
Yeah. I'll have a weekly replay on Sunday night. And then on Wednesday, I think we're doing a special episode for OK Atheists, where we're rebroadcasting one of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Thursday and Friday, I believe we're doing, I don't know. We're doing something.
I think we're releasing one of our previously Patreon restricted episodes. So y'all can get a taste of what you are missing.
Right. And then we might do a rebroadcast of something. So
we'll see.
We'll see how that all goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're technically sort of kind of taking a week off.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see you all when we get back.
We'll still see you.
Well, yeah, we'll still see you next week.
We'll see you Sunday. But for
regular Bible reading, we'll see you when we get back.
We'll see you a week from Monday to start the book of Proverbs.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
What are we doing today?
We are doing a late episode that's on a Sunday, which would make it our
Sacrilegious Book Club.
Right. So what are we going over today?
So we are in the big book called A Treasury of Jewish Folklore, Stories, Traditions, Legends, Humor, Wisdom, and Folk Songs of the Jewish People, edited by Nathan Ozubel.
Okay.
And part 1 was Jewish Salt. Part 2 was Heroes. We are in part 3, The Human Comedy. Last time, we're still in chapter 1, Droll Characters. Last time we learned about schnorrers and beggars, and that was kind of fun.
Right.
And this time we are going to learn about wags and wits.
Wags and wits, huh?
One character of which is Herschel Ostropolier.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
And that's where we're
I don't know
today.
what significance that has, but okay.
Well, he's just a guy.
Just a guy?
He's a jester.
Jester, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into this.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we are on page 286.
Okay.
We are starting Wags and Wits.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
And this one isn't as funny as last time's, because it's not as clever, I think.
So maybe it should be called Wags and Witless?
Kind of. Like, some of the stories here, let me give you an example off the top of my head. It would be like if I came to you and I said, hey, I like hamburgers, but I don't like pickles on them. And then you say, why don't you like pickles on them? And then I say, because it's a cruel thing to do to a cucumber.
Ha, ha.
Yeah,
ha.
it's like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, but it's presented as very like tongue in cheek and get it?
Mm.
And I'm like, yes.
I get it, but it's dumb.
Yeah. It's not even a dad joke. Like, dad jokes make you groan, but also kind of go.
There's this phase that kids go through when they're like, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5. I don't remember exactly what age it is exactly. But like it's their knock-knock phase.
It's ages 4 through 8.
4 through 8, okay. And we call it the knock-knock phase. And they learn about knock-knock jokes somewhat, sort of, kind of.
So.
And then they make up all these horrible, I mean absolutely horrible.
Here, let's do one. Ready? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hamburger.
Hamburger who?
Hamburger.
Yes. that is an example of.
And the first couple is like, oh, you're cute. You don't understand how jokes work.
Right. But then it keeps going.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh God, when does this end?
Yeah, and it's a whole phase.
Yeah.
And then between the ages of say 8 and 12, you get the what I call monotone excitement phase.
Right.
And that's like with our son, it was Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where he would stand very still and he would say it in a monotone and he would be like, and then he does this and the character does a flip and then his hair does that.
And you just can't possibly
and like
pay attention.
No, you can't because it's so fucking boring.
Right.
And I mean, God bless the children, right? Like,
yeah.
I love my son, but really, like that voice and you know, the kid that you guys all know and love who has been on this podcast a few times did the same goddamn thing, but it was with like Wings of Fire, a dragon series.
And maybe Minecraft.
And Minecraft, yeah. And it's just, and then this happened and then that happened and you have to hold the key down to do this and it's an X, but not this X and not that X. And it's like, oh my God. And there's like zero excitement in this voice and it's just like delivering the most boring, dull report to you.
Yeah.
And it can go on for like 20 minutes.
But you got to be interested. You got to show interest because they're showing interest.
Yes.
And they want to tell you.
And you need to be like thrilled that they are telling you a thing that they are interested in.
Yeah.
So the whole time that you're forgetting to pay attention, you're going,
Oh,
and then when they pause, oh, wow. And then when they pause, you're like, and then what?
And you're like, please let it be over.
And at some point, you just have to be honest and be like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but I forgot to pay attention just then. And what you mean to say is, can you skip to the end? But what they heard was, oh, I need to start all over. And, you know, best parent in the world gets an award for sitting through that shit.
I did. I sat through a lot of that shit.
We both did.
Yeah.
So that's why we're the best parents in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, back to this book and the not so good jokes.
Right.
Okay. So Wags and Wits, an introduction, and I'm just going to read the first couple sentences here.
Okay.
Like every other people, the Jews were mirthfully entertained by their wits and wags, pranksters and scalawags.
Scalawags. I like that word.
I love pranksters and scalawags. It was a normal expression of folk life. There were a great number of such droll characters among Jews. Okay. And then they go on to name several that I'm like, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And one of them that they named, though, they tell a little bit of history about. And his name is, oh shit, what is that guy's name?
I don't know.
Herschel Ostra something or other. Okay?
Okay.
I'll get there in a minute. Ostropolier or something like that.
Yeah.
And he became a jester, and he was just so hard on his luck that when the job was offered to him, he was like just happy to have any job at all because his wife and children were like basically starving and they never had food for their Sabbath meal and all that stuff.
Right.
So it was just a bad thing. But the guy that hired him was just like this vain, self-indulgent, dumb guy that was like the big boss rabbi.
Okay.
And so he would like in present with other people, he would put on this face of grandiosity and like beneficence.
Mm-hmm.
But then in private, he would like be cruel to the jester, but the jester always had the last laugh.
Got it.
And so some of these we will get to. Herschel did this and Herschel did that, and that's why I'm mentioning him, because he is actually a character that appears in multiple of these tales.
Okay.
And one more thing that I want to say is that all of these tales have been attributed not just to him, but to multiple others. They kind of overlap, so there really is no telling, who these are about. So it's like fill in the blank generic name, but a lot of times we get his name.
Got it.
Okay. So the first story is like 500 pages long, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't even read that one because I was like, it was too long.
Okay.
It starts on page 287 and goes on to end on page 299, and it's just...
There's no way we were reading it for the podcast.
Yeah, I wasn't going to read it. I didn't want to sum it up because I'm already summing up other things, and there's a bunch of other short little ditties in here that I did read.
Okay.
So on page 299, there's this one called The Jew and the Caliph. Am I saying that right? Caliph. Calif.
As far as I know. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to say Caliph. Okay, once there was a caliph of Arabia who hated Jews, so he issued the following decree. Every Jew who enters my kingdom must be halted by the guards and ordered to tell something about himself. If he lies, he is to be shot. If he tells the truth, he is to be hanged.
Jesus.
By this stratagem, the caliph hoped to exterminate all the Jews in Arabia.
Why don't you just shoot them all? Then you don't have to ask them anything. You save some time.
I think that
that's a ridiculous thing.
What we say today about the Republicans, the cruelty is the point.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Like give them a chance to think that there's hope for them.
Okay.
Because you don't really care about the answer.
Right.
You're going to kill them regardless.
I guess.
One day a Jew came. When the caliph's servants commanded him to tell something about himself, he said, "I'm going to be shot today." The guards were confused by his words, so they brought the matter to their royal master's attention. Cogitated the wily caliph. This is indeed a difficult matter. If I were to shoot the Jew, it would imply that he told the truth. But in that case, the law is that he should be hanged, so I cannot shoot him. On the other hand, if I had him hanged, it would imply that he told a lie. And for that, the law provides shooting, so I cannot hang him. And so they let the Jew go. And that reminds me of something that we got into last week, which was that paradox.
Right.
It reminds me of this scene in the movie Labyrinth where the girl has to choose which door she should go through, and one always tells the truth and one always lies. And it's this whole riddle thing, and she figures it out, but I can never follow. It's too hard for me. Okay, the next one is on the same page, 299, and it's called When a Scholar Takes to Drink. A Talmudic scholar, a Seuss? Unheard of thing! Yet there was such a scholar. Once a friend rebuked him. Don't you know that our sages condemned drunkenness? Do you need to tell me that? Retorted the scholar. Of course I know. I'm not drinking to get drunk, but to drown my sorrows. Have you succeeded in drowning them? The friend asked. No, I'm afraid not, the scholar answered grimly. You see, my sorrows are very spiteful. The more I drink, the better swimmers they become. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one also starts on 299, and it's called Drinking Logic.
Okay.
An old Jew was arrested for drunkenness and taken before a magistrate. The magistrate was taken aback. How, he asked sympathetically, did this happen? Nothing happened, answered the prisoner. I'm not drunk at all. Now see here, uncle, said the judge. It is perfectly obvious that something happened to put you in this state. Come, tell me in your own words. It is really very simple, began the old man. I took one drink. There are many biblical authorities for such conduct. One drink anyone may take. Now, this drink made me a new man. Naturally, the new man was entitled to a drink. So he had a drink. Then we were two. As all the world knows, when two Jews get together, it is permissible for them to have a drink. By this time, we were joyous. And on a joyous occasion, one must drink. I was like, okay.
I like that.
I did like that one.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so skipping ahead to page 302, we have the foresighted traveler. The traveler has come.
Okay.
That's a line from Ghostbusters.
Oh.
You know.
I should have guessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Gozer, the Gozerian
right, yeah.
says it. Yeah. Okay. The foresighted traveler. A weary traveler alone. Oh, wait. That's not what I wanted to tell. Never mind. I'm not telling
Never mind.
that
We're
one.
not doing that one.
Nope. Sorry.
Skip that one.
I didn't put a star
Rewind.
next to it. Yep. Rewind. You could even cut that out if you want.
Nah.
Okay, but on page 302 is dramatic criticism.
Okay.
I did put a star next to that one.
Got it.
Mrs. Goldstein could never induce her husband to enter a theater. He had an excuse always for staying home or for joining his cronies at gin rummy or pinochle. But at last Mrs. Goldstein's patience was exhausted. This time, she proclaimed, "You go with me or I'll give you a reason to regret it." So Mr. Goldstein permitted himself to be dragged to the drama. He squirmed and fidgeted through the evening while his wife responded appropriately to the play. "What do you say now?" she asked triumphantly when the lights went up. "It stinks," was the laconic reply. "What do you mean it stinks?" she asked. "I'll tell you," said Mr. Goldstein, disgust finally breaking through his restraint. "In the theater, it's always the same. A man and a woman. Now when he wants, she doesn't want. And when she wants, he doesn't want. And when they both want, down comes the curtain." I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, so now we're getting into the Herschel Ostropalier.
Okay.
Ostropalier.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
I'm just going to call him Herschel.
Yeah.
Okay? We're getting into all his stories, okay?
Yep.
So he's a wit and a wag and a scallawag and a prankster or whatever.
Got it.
He's the jester.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
So, on page 306, we have Herschel's revenge on the women. As soon as Herschel Ostropalier went to serve Rabbi Boric, that's the guy that as his jester, he met with a hostile stare from the rabbi's wife. She found all sorts of petty pretexts to abuse him. Once, when he tried to defend himself, she turned her back on him insultingly and shut him up with the retort, "Your excuses are making me deaf. You're raising such a racket with them." Herschel smarted under the abuse and lay low. Someday, he vowed, he'd avenge the insult. Sometime soon after, the rabbi's wife said to Herschel, "Send your wife to me. It's high time we got to know each other." "With pleasure," answered Herschel eagerly. "She'll regard it as a very great honor, believe me. But I must warn you, may it not happen to a dog. She's deaf as a wall. If you want her to hear you, you've got to shout." I understand, the rabbi's wife assured him commiseratingly. "Never fear, I'll manage. Just have her come to see me." When Herschel came home, he said to his wife, that illustrious shrew, "The rabbi's wife told me she would like to get acquainted with you, but I've got to warn you betimes, she's stone deaf. If you want her to hear you, you've got to shout." "I understand," said Herschel's wife knowingly, and went to see the rabbi's wife. When the two women met, they both began to shout and scream at each other ever louder and louder. Their cries even reached into the rabbi's study where he was closeted with his disciples. Frightened out of his wits, the rabbi dashed into the wife's room, the disciples close at his heels. What the rabbi saw was something he never forgot. Both women were at the point of collapse. Their voices were hoarse, and their cries sounded more like croaks. "What is the meaning of this?" cried the rabbi in astonishment. "Why are you shouting this way?" "Herschel's wife is deaf," gasped his wife. "I had to yell so she could hear me." "And why do you shout?" asked the rabbi of Herschel's wife. "What else should I do? Your wife is stone deaf," croaked Herschel's wife, her tongue hanging out. "My wife's stone deaf? You're crazy, woman," cried the rabbi, beside himself with rage. "Who told you that?" Why, Herschel did. All this while, Herschel stood near the rabbi, enjoying himself tremendously. Impudent fellow, roared the rabbi. Explain yourself instantly. What kind of a prank is this anyway? I am innocent, Rabbi, pleaded Herschel. All right, so it's my fault, said the rabbi sarcastically. Blame your wife, Rabbi, urged Herschel. The other day she was angry at me for some reason. I was entirely innocent. Then, addressing the rabbi's wife, Herschel continued, Do you remember that when I tried to explain, you turned your back on me and said, You're raising such a racket with your excuses, you're making me deaf. Well, what did you expect? I shouldn't believe you? Why should I have doubted you? Also, was it wrong of me to give due warning to my wife? If she spoke in a low voice, you wouldn't have heard a thing. Besides, wouldn't it have been highly inconsiderate of her to do so? But why did you tell me your wife was deaf? Rasped the rabbi's wife in a hoarse voice. What a foolish question, retorted Herschel. Imagine if after only a few months I made you deaf with my excuses. How deaf do you think I've made my wife after being married 20 years to her? Don't either of you say I didn't warn you. That's cute, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this one starts on page 307, and it's called How Herschel Almost Became a Bigamist. Herschel's wife was nagging him to death. You're a ne'er-do-well, she cried. You're a schlemazel and a fool. Only you think you're smart. If you didn't speak so impudently to the rabbi and to the gabbai and to all the rich men of the town, we wouldn't be so badly off. When Herschel heard this, he grew angry. You're a nice one to preach at me, he said bitterly. Why, you've caused me more trouble than if you were 10 good-for-nothing relatives. What on earth are you jabbering about? Asked his wife. Listen to this story and you'll know, began Herschel. Years ago, when I was still young and handsome, shortly after we had married, I was making a journey on foot. I never was more tired and hungry than I was that day. On the way, I met another poor traveler. Uncle, I asked him, do you know if there's a Jewish settlement nearby where some kind-hearted person will take pity on a foot-sore traveler and give him something to eat and a place to sleep? Indeed I do, replied the man. Not far from here lives a Jewish tenant farmer. He is stuffed with money like a Passover goose, but he won't give a poor man a teaspoonful of water. The only person welcome in his house is a marriage broker, because his daughter is an ugly old maid, and he would like to see her married at all costs. When I heard this, I went to call on the miser. I introduced myself not as a marriage broker, but as a virtuous young man in search of a bride. Would you believe it? After being wined and dined in his house for several days, he proposed that I become his son-in-law. To make a long story short, I consented. You miserable wretch, interrupted Herschel's wife. How could you have done a wicked thing like that with me being your wife then? Easy, easy, cautioned Herschel. Just listen patiently to the end of my story. A day was fixed for the wedding to take place in several weeks. In the meantime, I lived in luxury, tasted everything from honey to vinegar, and when the wedding day arrived, there was nothing left to do but to break down and tell the truth. So I said to my bride's father, Listen, father dear, since today is my wedding day, it is my duty to tell you everything about my family, so that later on you shouldn't have any grievances against me. I'm listening, he said. I have a brother, I began, and he is an immoral fellow. What difference does it make? He answered cold-bloodedly. My sister-in-law is unfaithful to her husband. If your brother doesn't bother me, why should your sister-in-law? I have 2 good-for-nothing uncles. That should be my biggest worry. I have a sister and she has an illegitimate child. What? An illegitimate child? Bad, but, what can we do about that?
Right.
I assure you that in my family there are drunks, card players, and libertines without number. At this, my bride's father broke into a smile. What has that got to do with you? He asked. All we have to do is to take out the cow and burn the barn. I saw I was in a desperate position, so I finally said, But father dear, I have a wife. When he heard this, he became livid with rage. He seized me by the scruff of my neck and threw me out. I ask you, say yourself, Doesn't that prove that you are worse than all the 10 good-for-nothings in my family rolled in one? That's pretty good, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. On page 313, what Herschel's father did.
Okay.
Once, Herschel stopped at an inn to spend the night. There were no other guests at the time. The innkeeper was away, and only his wife was there to receive Herschel. I'm half dead with hunger, Herschel told her. Do give me something to eat. Looking at his shabby clothes, the woman thought to herself, this man is a tramp. Why take a chance and feed him? I'm very sorry, my good man, but there isn't a drop of food in the house. What? No food? Cried Herschel, jumping up. For a moment he stood deep in thought. Then he muttered, in that case, I'm afraid I'll have to do just what my father did. When the innkeeper's wife heard this, she grew alarmed. What did your father do? She asked, all a-tremble. Never mind, my father did what he did, said Herschel ominously. What in heaven's name could this man's father have done? The innkeeper's wife wondered. It's a bad business, me all alone with him in the house. Who can tell? His father may have been a murderer, and if he threatens to do what his father did, good God! Without a word, she set the table and served Herschel all manner of good things. Herschel was so hungry he ate like a wolf. When he had finished, he smacked his lips and said, I haven't eaten such a good dinner since Passover. Seeing that the stranger was in a good mood, the woman asked timidly, Be so good and tell me, what was it that your father did? Oh, my father, replied Herschel innocently. Whenever my father didn't have any supper, he went to bed without it. Tell me that's not fun. Oh, I think that is it. Yes,
that is it?
That is it.
Those were. I thought they were pretty funny.
Well, I read you the good ones.
Okay.
I read you the best of the best.
Fair enough. I mean, I was,
entertained.
I was entertained. Yeah. I didn't have a lot to say, honestly. I mean, I didn't have hardly anything to say.
Yeah.
Normally, I have a few things to say.
Yeah.
But not today.
No, these were fun.
Yeah. No, they were. That's really all I got. Those were pretty fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our book club for today.
Sacrilegious Book Club.
And we will be back tomorrow with our
Psalms wrap up.
Yep. And then the day after that, we will have our
Psalms contradictions.
And then we're going to have a special episode by OK Atheists on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Thursday and Friday are kind of yet to be determined, but it's, I think, going to be like a replay of an old episode, and then maybe a Patreon that you guys, if you aren't a patron, has never heard.
It'll be a release
from a while back
of a Patreon episode to the public.
Yeah. So hang in there. We're taking our week off, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back the week after with our regular episodes, which will start in on
the Book of Proverbs.
Yeah, Proverbs. All right. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.